Right, welcome to episode 7 of the Creator Stories podcast with Follow DUNC. Round of applause. Wait, can I do a clap in Discord? Hold on. Oh, no, I can't. It's too long to do that.
Did you really have to call me by my handle?
What would you want me to call you? Duncan?
Dunk.
Douglas?
Don't ever call me Duncan.
Okay.
That's what my mum calls me.
Oh, okay. Is that when you're in trouble? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Right, so we have...
Are you nervous?
Am I nervous? No.
Yeah.
I'm... Tell you what, I get like... See, it's hard because when I stream, I feel like I'm like quite energetic and all over the place. But then when I have to do this, I'm like... I have to like get... Not serious, but like I actually have to have like a normal conversation where I'm not being an idiot. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I have to like tone myself down. But once you answer like the first 2 or 3 questions, you'll be all right. It's nothing crazy. Tone him up a bit, okay?
I've never heard serious water, you know?
No, yeah, it's hard because I have to try and switch my it's like switching in my brain to go like, right, stop being an idiot. Now actually talk about stuff that people want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I think we have 10 questions, and then we have like 2 from Twitter, and then obviously 10, and then 2 from Twitter from people asking. So yeah, we'll start with the first one, mate. Tell us a bit about your work and what it entails.
All right, nice. A heavy question to start. I like this. Okay, so I own a creative content agency called GPMEDIA with my business partner and good friend Lucas, who's based in Germany. We started GamePlan coming up to 2 years ago, May 2023. And basically what it is it's a creative content agency that manages the entire creative timeline from ideation to execution. If I was to explain it like you're 5 years old, we edit videos and we make content for creators that we work with. Outside of video editing, we have our second like service bucket, I guess, is graphics and design and branding. So we'll work with clients on things like graphics for broadcast or social graphics, Twitch overlays, merch, digital design, pretty much anything graphic related. And then the third part is what we do is consultancy and like strategy. So we'll work with some clients that come to us because they want like a content strategy, or they want to talk to us about what would be a good piece of content for them to shoot, bad piece to avoid, and then like social media management. So my job when it comes to this is pretty much anything and everything.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Business.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, it's I'm not a video editor. I'm not a graphics designer. So we have employees, obviously, that do those jobs. But typically for us, it's just growing the business at the moment, and adding new services where we possibly can, or going into new industries, putting together like processes and systems to try and grow the business and build the business and make it into a more legitimate establishment, basically.
Yeah, so you do pretty much everything then. Pretty much everything.
Pretty much, apart from the work.
Yeah,
sense.
so you don't do any of the work. You just let other people do the work.
Yeah, but we're like, I would call us like part-time content strategists too. Like me and Lucas, although that we own the business and run the business, we're like working with our editors and graphics to be like, this is a good piece of content you've edited, or like, here's some feedback on how we can make this video better.
Right, okay.
So although we're not doing like the video editing, we'll still give feedback and we'll still like be involved in those types of decisions. And we'll meet with our clients and they'll say like, oh, what content should I be making this month? Then we'll sit down and we'll be like, there's a new season of Apex coming out, so let's like ideate what new content looks like based on that new season dropping. We'll say like, let's make a video about this here, a video about that there, and then the editor will be involved. They'll make the video, and then we'll execute and publish. So like, we're involved from like a content strategy perspective. That's probably like work that we do.
Yeah.
But outside of that, then it's just being a CEO of a business, basically.
Nice. CEO DUNC. What a ring that adds to it, you know? But yeah, I feel like you guys have done like, I mean, I don't know, how long has it been since you started this with Lucas? Like a year and a bit, is it?
We started we like legitimized the business in May 2023.
Right, okay.
That's when it was like, we made it into a private limited company in the UK. And then I think we did a soft launch in, I want to say it was like September 2023. We like soft launched Game Plan Media, but I kind of didn't publicly talk about what I was doing there because I obviously had another job at the time.
Yep.
But then we hard launched in February 2024, where I publicly announced what I was doing, etc.
Right. So you had it for a while then. You had it for a long, long while before you even talked about it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nearly a whole year.
Damn,
that is a long, long time. I didn't think you would say that. I'm not gonna lie. But then again, I don't know how long it takes to start up a business, so I wouldn't have a clue about that.
Well, like we had a stepping stone in that during my time on at TSM, my old place, I had about 5 clients I was working with individually, but they were at TSM. So, like when they joined TSM, they were like, "Hey, do you want to do some like social media management for these players on the side?" So I did like Sabrosa, Wardy. You're Wardy, sorry.
Wardy,
Sabrosa,
League, TSM Wardies. What?
I meant Wardell.
Yeah.
Very
okay.
close.
Yeah, close. Yeah, close.
Wardell, Snike Down, Mandy. So like I was doing some social media management for these guys on the side. And that all started because I met Lucas. And at the time he was doing social media management for the TSM Apex guys. And he was telling me about like all the things that he does. And I was like, damn, I want to do this too. So that's when I started working with like TSM players.
Okay.
So like and then Lucas already had his own content agency. So he kind of like knew how to get things going at the start. So we had like our own, we kind of had like a stepping stone in, and obviously like my network is massive. And like so was Lucas. So like when it came to starting up this in May, like I was able to reach out to a bunch of clients instantly and get things rocking.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say, like quite a lot of people from the Apex community in general.
Yeah.
Do you do any like people outside of Apex, and is it just predominantly Apex? Do you do like Valorant or Siege or like CS or?
We dominated Apex right at the start because it was a game that we had so many ins into and no one was doing much. But also as a game, Apex Legends, like the esports scene, is so fortunate that they get to stream the scrims and they get to stream their competitive content. Whereas if you look at other games like Call of Duty and like League of Legends up until recently, like none of them could stream anything. So 90% of their day is like locked behind private doors and they didn't have enough energy to then stream. Whereas like Apex players, there's nothing behind closed doors, so they have so much opportunity to make content, and it was one that we could like get into really easy because like we're mutuals with all of the players. So that we dominated early in Apex, but then we started adding clients from other games too. So we work with Kaide in Valorant. We work with Bolo in Siege, your boy Roy in Siege, King George in Siege. We work with 2 Pokemon streamers like Rip and Ship, if you're aware of the concept. And then we work with a music band. We work with a physiotherapist. We work
my god, it's no endless. Yeah. It's endless.
It is, yeah.
It's endless.
But like we're trying to obviously diversify where we can and go into different games. We work with Flom in CS. And First Killer in Rocket League. So like, yeah, we're trying to diversify where we possibly can, and look at new industries, look at new games, and work with creators in different games wherever possible.
Yeah, I feel like it was like at the start anyway, like you were saying. I think it's easy because you already had that mutual between people. Is they know what they're going to get from you from working with you before, so it's like it sort of just goes naturally, doesn't it? It's like comes hand in hand that you're going to be good for them if they, if you pick them up or whatever. So I think it's good that you had that like initial start of like you and Lucas where you could actually have like at least, 20, 30 people that would want to be interested in it. And then obviously branch out and go for more games and then go from there. And then obviously word spreads around and whatnot. Because like your company came out of nowhere really, like for most of us. And then now it just keeps growing. I see you doing loads of stuff. You don't stop.
We're trying not to stop.
Yeah,
it's obviously quite hard to scale a content agency, especially getting in front of people is quite difficult. But also there's like different games have different levels of like revenue, I guess.
Yeah.
Apex players, Apex professional players don't have very high salaries versus if you look at Valorant players or League of Legends, they have like, if you're just talking competitive scene, they obviously have like a lot more
Yep.
revenue, so they have a lot more disposable income, and they understand like you have to invest money to make money. I don't know where I was going with that point, but where was I going with that point? I don't know.
That's all right, mate. No, I
Anyway.
get your point. Yeah, you're basically saying that like you understand that Apex revenue isn't the best, so that's why you wanted to kind of branch out to other games because you know they're going to be interested in that. Yeah, I got you, mate. Don't worry, I'm listening.
Thanks,
I don't look like I'm listening, but I am listening. But yeah, I mean that pretty much sums up the whole work you do. To be fair, I mean pretty much said everything. There's not basically what I took from that is nothing. There's nothing you don't do. That's what you do. You know, physiotherapy, loads of different games, like.
Our biggest like goal at the moment is to diversify into sports. Okay. And, like we obviously want to continue to dominate gaming and esports. We've got 2 really great esports opportunities lined up right now, which we are in deep conversation with. So that would be working with 2 esports tournament organizers.
Okay.
And they would be like 2 mega opportunities for us this year. So we want to continue obviously to like push into gaming and esports as much as we possibly can, but like sports is such a crazy industry in that they just have the coolest life and the coolest jobs, but nobody in sports is just talking about what they do. And like we're in an era of content where people want to see behind the scenes and they want to know more about what goes into being the person that they are, rather than like it's the same with brands too. People don't care about the brand that people are building, they care about the people that are building it. And like sports people they're just they just have so much opportunity and they have so much money to use. Like they're all looking for tax write-offs and just their jobs and everything that they do, like golf, Minwoo. And like there's a guy called Bryson DeChambeau, and he is like the epitome of what it means to what an athlete should be doing with content. Like he's killing it. I don't know if anybody knows golf content, but like there's lots of opportunities to make cool stuff. And at the end of the day, our number one goal is to make cool shit. And to do that, we want to also get into sports. But that's I think that's a good point though. I 100% agree with you with that about like sports athletes and stuff. It's very hard to see interviews with them and like podcasts or like even just the day in the life of, which is why I think, you know, when they do them like documentaries like on Netflix and stuff, like behind the scenes of like a football team, people love that stuff. I know for a fact I love that stuff because it's so interesting to like see what goes on, the stuff that you don't see. Like, for example, the Formula One. I never used to watch Formula One until I started watching Drive to Survive. And now I just love watching it. I don't know why. It's just, I think it's like the behind the scenes of what you see from, you know, if you watch a Formula One race, you just see the cars go around and then like whoever wins and blah, blah, blah. But when you get to see the behind the scenes, you get to see like, you know, how the drivers are, what their personality is like, how big's the team, like how they figure out what car they can afford and like what parts they can put in and like just all that stuff that comes with it, like the drama of like if a driver's getting dropped or if the head of management or whatever's like being sacked, or you know what I mean? It's so like interesting to see all that stuff that you're never going to see. Like people don't know what it takes to put to.
Yeah.
People don't understand what players put in to get to where they are.
Yeah.
Like people just see them rock up, they start a game, they finish a game, and that's it. But like, people just don't understand what goes into doing that. And like, there's one thing with Formula One is like, if you actually look at the logistics of it, like even that is like unbelievable. How they can just like, we're about to head into a triple header now for F1, so there'll be like 3 races back to back to back across the world, and like the logistics that go into it, like it's fascinating. And like people need to make more content on that. Like, people just don't want to know. People just want to know behind the scenes all the time with everything right now. Yeah,
even if it's something so small and insignificant, they like people just love to see like what it's like to be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like how they live or like what they do, how they act. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. For me personally, I love watching stuff like that. Like I watch all like the football documentaries that come out, like the Liverpool one. I even watched like a Juventus one, Borussia Dortmund, the Sunderland one I watched. Like, it's just so cool to see like how it works and how, you know, like for example in football, like if someone's trying to sign a player, it's not as easy as we'll give you this amount of money, you come to us. You get to see like the player's agent isn't happy, or the player doesn't like this, or you know they'll start figuring out salaries, and it's way more than just fans screaming at people to like clubs to sign players, and it is like the actual logistics behind how this is going to happen and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I love that stuff. I love watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
In F1 though, they have like a content problem in that they basically sold the rights to Liberty Media, which is the people that make Drive to Survive, and it stops basically all the drivers and teams making their own content. Right. So that's why like you're not seeing, and like I don't even know if that's a thing in other sports, but there's not enough documentaries in other sports for that to be an issue. But like with F1, I think it's one of the coolest sports and the amount of stuff that goes into behind the scenes for it to be like a driver. And I'd love to actually just see it for streamers too. You know, like I'd love for the largest streamers in our network to start doing the like day in the life content. And what goes into pre-stream or post-stream, or like what they do in their spare time. I think, but then there's like a hurdle, right, to get over. You stream for how much do you stream a day? Like 7 to 8 hours. Could you then imagine having to then shoot more content after?
Yeah.
Or like film your day in the life?
I think that's like a misconception though about streamers, which is why I kind of wanted to start this as well, this whole podcast, because I think people think that streamers just like get on, they play a game, or you know they make a bit of content and they get off, and that's the end of it. Like, oh, they have such an easy, but it's not like that. Like me personally anyway, like since I started this, I'm like, that's all I ever think about. Like from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep, like I just think about what can I do to like improve, or what idea can I do to get to the next level, or you know how can I up my viewership or my content outside of that, you know, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, etc. So I think that also would be a good idea as well, the like behind the scenes of a streamer. I don't know how interesting it would be to people, because you know each stream is different, how long they stream for, how much content they make, or you know what they do in their spare time, like you know exercising or that sort of thing. I feel like it'd be very similar between certain streamers. Maybe the bigger streamers might be a lot different, because obviously they get like, you know, taken out to places and like they have to shoot content for like brands, and that would be cool. Cool. But I think you're like average streamer. Like
yeah. I would agree. Like we'll just use Pokimane for instance. Like she flies across the world to go to like fashion shoots, and like she does lots of brand stuff. Like that content would be super interesting. But like your average Joe that's tuning in, 10 followers, 10 viewers, whatever. Their content is a little bit different for sure.
100%.
But yeah,
it would be nice to see. I think that's such a small like gap in the like. Sorry, not small. A big gap in the market of like big stars or big athletes or just big online presence that don't like post what they're doing, or like you don't get to see what their life is like outside of just seeing them on the screen for 5 or 6 hours. You know what I mean? It's like. It's so interesting. I don't know, especially like live stream as well. Especially live streaming. I think that's what, like, not to go off topic, but I think that's what like Speed does. That's like unbelievably good. Is that like he doesn't have a plan. He just goes places, streams, and then just sees what happens, and that's his content. But it works because he's obviously got a massive following that he's built up over time, and. Like, if you actually watch the streams, he doesn't really do anything that crazy. Like, he just goes to the country, goes to get some food, might go to like a landmark or something, and then obviously he has like hundreds of people following him, so it's a bit different because he's got a massive following. But I think that works so well because it's live as well. So it's like what you're saying, but live at the same time. So it just meshes the two together.
Are you talking about like IRL streaming?
Yeah, so like him IRL streaming, yeah, because he's like fully like IRL. Because obviously he started with like FIFA and stuff like that, which built his personality from that. But I mean, like just currently now, like the past year that he did, like I know he's doing a tour in Asia right now, I believe.
He's in China right now.
Yeah, and then even all like the streams before that where he would just tease where he's going and then he'll just show up and like I think I believe he was like one of the first people to hit 1 million live followers or something. Live viewers. Like he broke the record or something. He's
broken lots of records. Yeah, I
can't remember where it was.
He's an absolute animal.
Yeah, I can't remember what country it was, but it was 1 million live viewers he had. Obviously, that's crazy because he's like a mega star. Like he's getting into like football and going to see it, CBS and stuff like that. Like he's like just like a superstar in the content world. But
He's a celebrity now.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
is.
personality.
He is.
He's a
100%. Same as like Kai Cenat as well. He's like similar like that as
Yeah.
well. But
Exactly.
yeah. Anyway, not to go off topic. Next question.
Conversation, mate.
Yeah, no, yeah. How did you deal with leaving TSM after being there for a big part of your career? So this is the juicy stuff. This is the juicy stuff. Tell us it all now. No, you can say as much or as little as you want. Like, I'm not going to force you. You know what I mean?
Sorry. I'm gonna try and get my dates in my head a second, because like timelines are what matter the most when it comes to this conversation. All right, so I left end of January 2024. Basically in 2023, things started to change massively. Budgets were cut, things were slashed, people are being let go around, just around the company. They went from something like in 2021, 2022, they went from like 156 employees or something crazy down to like 50. When the whole FTX stuff went down, and things start getting cut, teams start getting cut. And I had a social team of 9 people, I think it was. I like, or 8 full time, and then 1 like part-time social media person. And then in April 2023, I had to basically let go 6 of them. And it was like a choose who to get rid of, which is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
So I let go of 6, and then in my head I started to realize, I was like, the people that are always being let go are like international people, ones that aren't in LA, at headquarters, and I kind of like started to realize, I was like, my time is probably coming up soon, that they're gonna let me go. And so from April 2023, it was in my head like, each month I survive is another month that's a positive. And I was like, okay, if I can get to the end of each of these months and survive, then we're good. And actually, it was January 2023 to April 2023 that I was letting people go, and I was like, I'm definitely on the chopping block at some point. And then in April, then I reached out to Lucas and was like, hey, I'm definitely gonna get fired at some point this year. Everything's going down the pan. I was like, do you want to do a project together? And then we basically obviously kicked things off from May 2023. And then I was just doing that on the side. I was like, obviously trying to put in 110% at TSM wherever I possibly could, just to see if I could survive. And then we had this going on the side. It was just like my morning project, because obviously I worked North American hours. And like GP started to actually sign a bunch of clients. We got Nicewig in June, and that was like a huge signing for us. And we've been working with him since. So then I started to kind of be like, all right, okay, I'm either going to be let go by TSM at some point in the next year, or I'm going to leave myself.
Yep.
So I then started to kind of like deal with it in my head. And I was like, at some point, I'm not going to be a TSM dunk anymore. So I need to start removing it from my whole persona, because anyone that knows me for like the last 5 years, or 4 years when I was working for them, I basically made TSM my personality. It was the only thing I talked about. It was the only thing I did. I watched, ate, slept, drank TSM. It was the literal bro thinks he's on the team meme. And like I then like was tried my best to remove that persona. But like I was like, I'll even remove TSM from my name and start to kind of like just have a bit of separation. But then I was like, Reddit threads like, oh my gosh, Dunk's leaving, like he's removed it from his bio, and it was like crazy. Like I had a microscope on me the whole time, anything I did. And then in October 2023, my then manager gave me like a little heads up. They're internally talking about you and like getting rid of you. So then I knew that my days were numbered massively. She at the time was able to like give me an extra month. She basically fought for me to get me an extra month. Then she got let go. And then my next manager came in, and they gave me an extra month because they were like, I'm a new manager, I need an extra bit of time. Like, can I please let me keep Dunk? So then they gave me a heads up, like, hey, you've only got another month. Like, I felt like I was on my deathbed and someone was just getting ready to cut the life support from me. And then that was when like it was just the time at the end was like super just shit. Sorry to swear. I don't know if you swear on your stream.
No, you can swear. You can swear. Yeah, go crazy.
Yeah, it was like I got a call. They demoted me. They took my title away from me. I'm not gonna go into like the politics of the demotion, but like it was so strange, and there was a big power trip. And then I was like, any minute now, I'm gonna be gone. So I just started ramping up with Lucas on GPMEDIA, like adding as many new clients as we possibly could, getting my safety net ready for when they pulled the plug. Yeah, and then in January 2024, I got the ominous message from my manager on a Friday, like, hey, I'm just collecting some documents and I don't know where the document with all of our social media passwords is in. And I was like, well, here we go. And I was like, he was like, can you get it to me by Monday? And then so I knew that weekend that on Monday I was going to be getting the cut. And then he put a HR meeting in at 9 a.m. and then
that was all she wrote.
Get you. And then I was like, that was it. He called me at 9 a.m. and he's like, hey, and like my manager at the time was such a nice guy. We worked together for years. I could tell in his voice he didn't want to like cut me. But yeah, he cut me. And then it's instant. Is gone. I didn't even get to log on to Slack to like say bye to the 5 people that were left to be like, yo, what's up? I'm going. Thanks for the 5 years of hard work. Didn't hear from anybody. No thanks. No. It's whatever.
Did you feel like empty like when that happened? Not like empty because I suppose you had like GPMEDIA, but like I feel like I know you're saying about like you made it your whole personality, but you know it is a thing to be proud of, like that you work for a brand like that, like. And obviously then to, you know, depend on, obviously it varies on how it ended and that, but like, it must just feel like, oh, like now what? Do you know what I mean? It's just like your whole world has been revolved around that for the past 5 years. So then nothing, it's like, whoa, well now what? Do you know what I mean?
Every day, like every day I woke up with like a purpose and like I always had a goal of what I was needing to do that day. And like, I mean, some of this, I is going to come across like I'm being big-headed, like I have an ego, and I definitely am not, but like I was a somebody to the TSM fan base. Like I was the medium between what was going on, and I was just a straight-up community manager in the people would come to me for questions. They would reach out to me, being like, what's going on with the team? And then I would give them updates and everything. So I was a somebody to some of the TSM fan base, and I was always waking up with the purpose of what I needed to do and achieve. And like the next day when I woke up from being cut, it was like super sad. But obviously I felt super empty, but then I was like, on to the next thing. Like I'm not gonna sit here in my cry. I didn't cry, thank God. Probably would have if I didn't realize for like a year that I was gonna get cut.
If it was instant.
Woke up and just had to get back on the horse and just get going again. I realized I had a wife and a daughter that I gotta bring some money home for, and a roof over our head that I need to keep paying for. So I just literally 31st of January, I think it was the next day, instantly on a call with Lucas, like, let's run it. Like, what we doing? It's full time now.
That quick,
instant.
Damn. That is crazy. That's what you call work ethic. That is what you call work ethic. But I mean, I suppose you had it in the background as well, didn't you? Kind of, you like had it like a little bit, and obviously that's when you were like, right, now it's time to full send. I think you would have been like way more upset if it was like you kind of didn't have anything to fall back on. Like if you were saying like if it was instant, obviously you knew it lasted for like what was he say was it like February? You said you was getting signs, and then on January,
January, April 2023, I started to realize I was like, I'm going to be gone soon. So then I managed to just keep rocking it for a year, basically.
Yeah, just winging it. Yeah.
Not winging it, but like given them reasons to try not to get rid of me.
Right, okay. It's like a little game. It's a little game between it, yeah.
How amazing can I be today when they're going to find it really hard to want to get rid of me?
Yeah. I'm just going to be so good today that everyone's going to love me, yeah. I mean, listen, it's tough. Like, you know, being there for so long it's just like any job, isn't it, really? You know, like when you hear about people getting rid of in massive companies where people have been there for like 20, 30 years and they make cuts and then they just get rid of them. It's like, that's all their life was. So it's hard for them to now go into something different and, you know, where do they go? I don't know if you felt like that. Was it more like you was more sad that you were leaving, but also the people you were leaving behind as well, because you'd
honestly
been together with them so long?
The people I left behind, there was none. It was like 8 people left.
Right,
like, everyone had gone round me already. Like, you know that Will Smith meme where he's in his lounge and there's nothing left and he's just looking around. There's no sofa. There's nothing. It felt like that. There was, of the people that were left, obviously those guys I still love to bits and I'm still in regular contact with. 4 of my like good closest friends have now all left. There's only one of them left. Still doing social media, Vita. But like everyone else is gone. It's just like, it was the first time where I had realized that loyalty means shit all. And like, the roles that I was in before I were in esports, I was a national sales manager, selling food and beverages across the UK to like national businesses like TGI Fridays, Nando's, etc. And like this was the first job that I've ever been let go from. And it was like the first time I realized that loyalty means shit. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how many years you put into a job. Like, you'll get cut in an instant. You are nothing more than just a HR number. And that was what was the most painful part, in that I, like, during COVID, I'm probably like one of the handful of people that COVID was one of the biggest benefits of my career. Because it meant I was locked in a house. I was working something like 18 hours a day, all hours of the day, putting blood, sweat, and tears into everything that I did. And then at the end, to just be nothing more than just like a phone call, just be like, we're cutting your contract. There was no like, Andy wasn't on the call, like, hey, thanks for everything you've done over the last, like, my exit would have been significantly different. I don't know if you saw the storm that I caused when I left.
I did, yeah. I saw the tweet of you saying about, I don't think you went into details, but you kind of just said, you know, I don't know what to misquote it, but you sounded something like it would have been nice to sort of have like a kind of a send-off for it, rather than it being...
I just said that, I was just like, on my 5-year anniversary, like, I've just been cut, and that's it, it's done, it's dusted.
Right, yeah.
But like, even if Andy had jumped in the call and be like, look, we're going to have to make a cut. Thanks for everything you've done over the last 5 years. You've been great success to TSM success, whatever. Then I would have gone so peacefully. I would have gone by like, yeah, cool, I get it. I still understand why I got cut. Don't get me wrong. I'm not I fully understand why I was cut. It was just how I was cut. It was just left a sour taste, you know. If I took my stats with me, I think I grew their socials by 3.5 million. Delivered something like 10 billion impressions.
Okay, talk your shit. Talk your shit, Doug.
I took stats with me. Like, I did good.
Yeah,
and
you
I know
did.
I did good.
You did, 100%.
Someone just needed to tell me, you know? I'm a sensitive soul at heart, and I need positive feedback sometimes.
Yeah. I think that's such a hard thing. That's also just a hard thing in content, just in general. Like, just content in, like, what you're making, and, like, just streamers and other people, like... I feel like it's so, I always talk about this, and this always comes up on this, that I don't understand why people find it so hard to compliment other people. Like, I don't know if it's just a British thing between us, because I know I hear about it all the time. People just do not say nice things to people. And when they do say it, everyone's like, why are you saying that? You're trying to get something out of it. But, like, it's just, like, it really baffles me why people can't just be happy for other people. Like, I'm not saying you have to, you know, everything they do, like, hype them up and stuff. But, like, you know, even, like, liking their tweet or reposting or commenting or, like, just saying, like, oh, you're doing really well at the minute, like, keep going. Like, no, people just seem to really, really don't want to do that. They just, for some reason, they just can't see it. And it's always that case of, you know, people don't want to support you when you're down, but as soon as you're up, people want to, you know, pretend like they're supporting you. Do you know what I mean? yeah, to me, to me, that just baffles me. I really can't get my head around it. Like, why people can't do it. I don't know if it's a British thing. Because I know people talk about all the time that people in the UK are just predominantly like, they just hate, and it's easy to hate on people. Like, but like, I mean, I always tell you like about, you know, how proud I was that you started it, and like how good you was, and like how nice it is you're doing your own thing now, and like you and Lucas have got the whole thing together. But like, people just find it so hard to do that, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like they don't want to be seen as glazing, if you want to call it that, or they just it just really winds me up.
It's a culture thing, and it is prevalent in any country. Actually, no. It's prevalent in Europe, United Kingdom, sorry, and North America. Probably Australia and New Zealand too. Like culturally, Canada, United States, UK, Australia. Culturally, we are identical countries. And there is that whole, like, you can't compliment someone without someone thinking you're doing it to get something out the other side. Clout chasing or glazing, or like, I don't know, it being cringe, like and it's prevalent in men and our countries that we all live in here. And like, it's a joke. I will go out of my way to make sure people know like how great I think that they're doing, and like the work they're putting in is like being recognized. But more people need to do it. Like, it's such a joke. Imagine being called cringe for like gassing up your homies.
Yeah.
West Stampy says.
I just
like,
don't get it.
Yeah, it's
really
embarrassing.
It is. It's almost embarrassing. That I always find as well, people find it way easier to hate on someone than they do to like be nice to them. And sometimes it is the case of, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, then just don't say it. Like, I don't think people should always want to support. Like, you know, people might not support what you're doing, or they might think, oh, I don't really like that. Like, that's fine. But like, when people see you doing good, it's nice to then get feedback about, oh, was that good? Or like, for instance, when me and Crimp first started this, we were so unsure whether this would do well, or if people would actually like it. And we just did the first episode where it was just me and her talking, and people, you know, I got the vibe that people actually did enjoy it. So then it was like, okay, let's just keep running with it and just keep going and just taking it step by step. Do you know what I mean? But like, that's something new, because obviously it's hard. Like, where like mine and Crimp's content, I mean, Crimp, you know, it's full time and whatnot, and obviously I do like content as well. But it's like, where mine's predominantly Apex, and then I'm going into something, and like, you know, I'm messing around. Like I was just saying to you at the start of this call, like, I'm predominantly messing around and making jokes and being silly, to then like a serious side of like talking to people. You never know how people are going to react to, because they only know you for that, the first side, right? They don't know you for, oh, let's talk with people and talk about their life and how they are and stuff. So I just, it's just one of them where I would never understand why people don't say nice things to people. And it's not even like
jealousy.
Yeah, it's
definitely
not even
jealousy too.
It's not even like you have to, you know, it's not even like you're getting something out of it, or like you're up their arse, because you're not. Like, I just don't get this, like, oh, you're an arse slicker, and all. Like, I just don't get it. I really can we just make it not a thing? Like, just make it not a thing where you can just say something nice to someone and people are okay with that. Like, it's not, let's now chuck hate at them. Do you know what I mean? But people just find it way easier to just hate on someone for some reason. I don't understand why, but that's just a mystery in the world. That's not even in content world. That's just the world in general. Just the world.
Also,
in general.
like, I often feel like I can't talk about my achievements a lot either, because like, people just get fed up with you like talking about positive things and things that are going well.
100%.
And like that's like what pisses me off too. Is and I just know that there'll be people like hate watching, or like getting, it's just jealous of other people's success. I
think it is. I think it is jealousy. I mean, I always go back to it. Oh, your cam went off.
No,
you're back.
Baby.
Oh, you're back. Yeah. Let's go. Yes, you're back. You're back.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
That's right. No worries. You're good. What was we saying? I can't remember what we were saying.
I don't know. We can move on.
But talking about, I don't know. Let's move on. Right. Next question. Was making your own business something you always thought about, and what inspired you?
Definitely. I went to university, 2010 to 2014, studied business management, and I knew growing up, I really wanted to own my own business, and become a business owner. There's lots of fun things and benefits of being a business owner. So, I had lots of ideas growing up of things that I wanted to do. If anybody knows Tile, it's like a Bluetooth tracking device which you can find like your car keys, or you can attach it to your keys, or Apple AirTag. I came up with that idea like 2007, of like a credit card idea of putting in your wallet and being able to track your wallet. But obviously I was like 17, I didn't have a clue how to do it, so
Too late.
Too late. And yeah, I always had loads of different business ideas, so like achieving my own was definitely a goal. I started it's some lore that no one knows about.
Oh, go on. Gossip. Here we go.
No, it's not gossip. It's just lore.
Yeah, go on.
In 2016, I launched my own esports clothing company.
Okay.
And I launched a brand. And I so badly wanted to there was nothing in Europe that connected like streetwear with esports. There was no like clothing that you could wear that represents your love for esports. There was obviously like orgs doing their own merch, but there was nothing like as a whole. You know how you wear like my United top to show your affinity with that, but like for esports too. And I launched I launched a clothing company. Failed miserably. I made about £750.
Nice.
Huge. Yeah. I invested about £600, so £150 profit, I guess.
Nice.
But at the time, I was a personality on what they call football Twitter. So back in the day, I was a
I'm so sorry.
football fan. I know, I'm so sorry. And
Football
like I had
Twitter.
my own I had my own app. Like I had about like 10,000 followers. And I was like a personality there. And then I tried to transition that into esports. And then so I had a few people from there like buying the merch, but it never went anywhere.
Damn.
I'm not going to tell anybody what the brand was or anything.
Can't find it anymore. Is it deleted now? Yeah.
Stuff. No, all the socials I think are still probably
they're
live.
still there.
I did everything. I did production, design, marketing, photography, social. I did the whole thing.
Damn.
And it was around the time that 100 Thieves launched as a clothing company before they were esports.
Right.
And it was around that time. I can't remember what year it was, like 2017, I think. But yeah, that was a business that I started, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, not every business you start. Yeah, not every business you start is going to succeed, is it? Really, you know what I mean? It's hard.
Exactly.
It's hard to start, but yeah, football Twitter. That's another whole conversation. Good lord, I'm so sorry you went into that because good lord, that is a mess. Absolute mess.
Well, I was on like football Twitter in 2010. And Twitter started in 2009. So like,
you was early.
I got my first Twitter account in 2009. Sorry. So like, yeah, I was like an early adopter of football Twitter. We don't talk about that anymore.
No, we don't. Please, that's not a topic we want to go down. That really stuff is terrible. Yeah, no, neither do I. Neither do I. Okay, so you basically you always wanted to start your own company. You started a few companies before, and they weren't. No, I wouldn't say they're failures because you made some money out of it. You had a good time. You did it because you thought it was going to happen. But I think that's the main thing. You actually tried to do it. Like, you tried at least. It might not have worked out in the way you wanted it, but you still tried your best, and that's all you can do, right?
Exactly. I'll put effort in.
Yeah, exactly. You did everything. 5 things you did. Right, okay, well, moving on from the business, more business stuff. What struggles did you face at the start of your business?
What struggles did I face?
Here's where you say none. Easy, mate. Light work.
Yeah, what are you saying, bro? I don't know, to be honest. I guess the start of this business, I've talked about it before that we kind of got like a stepping stone like start. It's probably just like the intricacies of actually legitimately owning a business. Having to work with Lucas probably was like difficult as an issue. But like starting and building proper processes and systems and like the legalities of owning a business and like employing people, and contracts, finance, how to start, like get a business bank account going, applying for different logistics, like just the actual adult part. Yeah, you're right. The adult part of owning a business was the difficult part. We got a bunch of clients on early days just from them being friends or word of mouth. But then obviously like a difficult part since is like just getting in front of people. We have like 100% close rate once we get in front of people. And we have the call with them to tell them about GP, what we do, the services, etc. But like, yeah, getting our foot in the door and in front of people, definitely like one of the hardest parts.
Yeah.
And hiring people. Oh my Lord, actually. That is the difficult part, is hiring people.
What, the stress of like contacting them?
No. Our jobs are oversubscribed every time. Like our last one, video editor, 350 applications. Like going through all the applications, the awful amount of effort people put into applications, and just having to go through every single one of them and then interview with them and then just pray to God that they're going to be a good candidate down the line.
Yeah.
Like
taking a chance.
It's so easy to lie. So easy. And be like, yeah, I'm so good at doing this, that, and the other. And then we bring them on board and they're like, yeah, I've never actually done this before. What am I doing? But yeah, just hiring people and finding good candidates.
Finding people that, because I feel like you want the same as you, right? Like you and Lucas, you want people that want to have the passion for your business as well, you know, rather than just being like, oh, I'm just going to go on there and pretend like I can edit or pretend like I can make graphics and whatnot. Like you want someone who maybe not have the passion as same as the you know, your business because it's yours, but like actually want to grow from being in your business and like whether that's themselves or, you know, outside of that, like people then get to see their stuff more, or do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
I feel like that's probably the main goal.
It is. You are right. Like we do want to hire people that are as passionate about us. We want to make them passionate about the brand that they're working for. And obviously, like the benefit of getting in early, working for GP, is that we have like such a bright future. Obviously, the way that we're scaling at the moment and the way that we're growing, and you know, we brought on investors last November. So like getting in early doors in GP is obviously like a real benefit. But like we just want to find people that care enough that they want to also see the brand succeed, you know. And right now we have, I think it's 12, including me and Lucas, and all of them I would say are like really proud to work for us, and like they talk about actively like working for us and loving what they do. And that means like a stupid amount, like for people to actually want to talk about the job that they do for us and they work for us and they're proud to be here. Like that's wicked. But it's just finding more of those people.
Yeah,
so difficult.
Yeah, because you obviously want to expand because then it has like less workload on people, but you also have to find the passion in them as well, not just you know they doing it for some money or whatever they're doing it for. But I think that's just any business, isn't it, really? You know, you get businesses where people, like what you were saying, they go in there and they're like, yeah, I know how to do that. And then you get in front of them, they're like, actually, I've never actually used that before. How do I do that?
Can you teach me how to do this?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. I've used something similar. That's the other one, isn't it? I've used something similar, but not this exactly. And then it's just
we had
an
one
absolute
application
nightmare.
And it was like, what do you use, Premiere Pro or like After Effects to edit? And they were like, CapCut. And we're like, fuck.
Oh, God.
CapCut.
Even DaVinci.
Yeah, but saying you use CapCut, I don't know. There's just something about it. Like, it really tickled me. Like, we're in that age, though, right? TikTok editors. Like,
to be honest, though, CapCut's not terrible. It's not great. It's very basic, but it's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but there's no technical skill behind using CapCut. My mum could go on and edit a video with CapCut. That's the point I have an issue with CapCut.
Right.
There's no technical ability.
The intricacies.
It does it all for you.
Yep.
So, yeah. That's why, like, you can tell the difference if someone uses Premiere Pro or After Effects or DaVinci, whatever, versus a
CapCut.
drop and cut template CapCut.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, that's not that's not great, I'll be honest, saying using CapCut. At least eventually.
However, if you are a content creator, CapCut is a fantastic tool.
It is.
And if you don't want to pay someone to edit your content for you, CapCut is a fantastic tool. CapCut is one of the best tools you can use. But if you're coming to be a video editor to make high quality content that is going to be produced on broadcast in front of millions of people, you're going to have to know more than CapCut.
Yeah. You have to know a bit more. I was like, I mean, I edit my own stuff, so I know what it's like to edit. Not at a skilled level, because I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near that level. But I find it like, I don't think it's just me. I find it so hard to edit. Like, I get so, like, I just can't sit there for like 4 or 5 hours and like moving clips around and like putting effects on certain things or putting certain things in places, or like, because you just end up, I always feel like I've done nothing, even though I have, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, even getting like a 4-hour recording and clipping it up into about 20 minutes, that's still work, but technically you haven't even done anything. Like, you haven't really, have you? You've just cut up parts of the video and taken out bits you're not going to people to see, which is, I always have this conversation with people as well about posting on YouTube, is like, is this any content in general? No one cares how long you've taken to edit a clip or do a video. They only care about the final product. You could edit a video and it take 2 hours. You can edit a video, it would take you 2 days. And the 2-hour one could do way better than the 2 days. Like, obviously, the more you edit, the more you get to terms of the product and like how to use it and like what you want to do from it and how to get the best out of it. But like, that's why I think is just struggling in general, is that people that do it solo get in their head and they're like, I spent like, you know, X amount of time on that video and it's done terribly. Like, it's like demotivating. But that's just what comes with content. You know what I mean? It just comes with like I said, people don't care how long it's taking you to upload something or edit something or clip something. Like, it doesn't matter. They only care about what you put in front of them and what they can see in their perfect.
Are you talking about like editing long form content? Like, do you edit your own long form content?
I do, yeah. I do, yeah. Okay. I do.
Why do you make long form content?
Why do I make it? Good question. No, I like to make long form. Well, I don't make it constantly. I say I'd make short form more. The reason why is because I think that short form content is very like doom scrolly. Like, for example, I've had videos do well on TikTok and I'm like, that is not a good video. Like, I've just looked at that myself. That's taken me 10 minutes and it's on like 150k views. And I'm like, that's not really a good video. That's how I see it. Other people might see it completely different. Short form is definitely the way, I think. Like, TikTok and Instagram Reels is a way to get yourself out there. Like, I feel like long form comes after short form. So people will discover you through your short form and then they go, oh, okay, they do YouTube videos now and they do long form, and then I can go from there. Yeah. Which is why I try and tend to focus a bit more on short form. But I don't know. I think it's just something about long form is like, it's kind of like, it's more of like a creation. You feel like you're creating something rather than it being like a 20-second TikTok or a 20-second Instagram reel. Do you know what I mean? But I do know the effects that short form does have on growing you as a brand and as a person. But I wouldn't say I'm highly skilled in editing long form because I haven't done that many long form videos. But yeah, I just feel like you're creating something that people would want to watch more on long form than it is on short form. Like, short form, you can post something that will take you 10 minutes and get X amount of views. Whereas I'd find more accomplishment in myself if I posted a long form and it did half or quarter of them numbers, but it's, you know, it's actually a video that people are going to come back to and it's on my channel and it's like a staple of, this is what I've done, this is what I've edited, rather than, you know, 10 TikToks that got like 20k or something. But obviously that comes with impressions and stuff, doesn't it, really? But I always find, I don't know if it's just me and the way I think, I've always found that some of the videos that has taken me the least amount of time have done my best videos, or got the most traction, or got the most impressions, or got the most clicks, or, do you know what I mean? And it's weird because that's what content is, right? That's just content creation in a nutshell. That, you know, you might not think yourself that is good, but you're not a consumer. people that are watching a video as the consumer. Obviously, you have to have a bit of, like self-confidence in yourself when you post something that you think it might do well, but you're never going to know what's going to do well. Like, for example, one of my videos, I uploaded all the new guns in Apex that were coming, all the new guns that came out, and they buffed every single gun. I had that idea after stream. I was like, right, why don't I just record myself just using every gun, and then I posted it on Twitter. I posted it, it got like 300k impressions, and I was like, how was that done so well? Obviously, I realized that it's because I have the access to showing it off early, but really, I haven't really done anything that crazy. I've just clipped myself using the guns. Do you know what I mean? So it's that's why, that's where I find long form is a bit better, because to me it kind of feels like you're creating something. Like when you create a thumbnail, you create like your intro, your outro, like the middle part of it, and all that sort of stuff comes with it. But I know that can be detrimental sometimes because it takes a while to edit them videos, and if it doesn't do well, then you kind of not wasted the time, but you could have spent it elsewhere. Obviously, you can make shorts out of that too, but yeah.
It's time put in versus output, right? If you're putting in 6 hours on a long form video for it to go up onto one platform on YouTube and it to get 500 views versus if you put 6 hours into short form content, you could make a significant amount of videos. And the difference between short form versus long form is you have Twitter, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. That's 4 platforms you can post one short form clip onto, increasing your digital presence, versus one YouTube video that goes on in a very saturated market. You talked about earlier how like, the easiest videos get the most views. Like, that's the result. Why would you not then continue to do that? Like, my biggest advice, we have a lot of creators come to us and they say, well, I really want to become a client. And then we say, what's your budget? And they're like $100. And it's like, it's not going to get you very far. However, if you're a small content creator and you want to invest in your content, invest in yourself. Okay. If you stream for 7 hours a day, cut that down to 5 hours and use those 2 hours pre or post to then make your own content and focus on short form content. Short form is key. Short form is king. All right. I literally watched a guy called Runway Statue on TikTok. He used to his short form content would always come up. He was a Warzone streamer. He was absolutely cracked. He just post his best clips, and he would do a small intro. He'd be like, "Yo, today I did this. I 360 no scoped off this building and got a quadra kill." All right, it's a hook. It's an intro. I'm there to watch it. Now I want to see him 360 off a building and get like 4K. And then it shows me the clip, and I'm like, "Damn, I love this guy. Like, he's got sick content. I'm gonna follow him." And then from there, he blew up on TikTok. And then from there, he was able to launch a Twitch stream. And his Twitch stream got like 400 or 500 viewers. And then he was able to earn more money, which then he used that money to invest into long form content. And then his long form content, he was able to pay someone to edit and make it worthwhile. And then he earns ad revenue from it. You can put no effort into short form and it can kick off. You can't put no effort into long form and hope that it kicks off. There's the small percentage of people that say like, oh, here's this long form piece of video. I did absolutely nothing in this. There's no effort and it just blew up. But you are going to come to me and say, I put absolutely nothing, no effort into this short form piece of content. And it's just gonna got 4 million views. Like me, I made a video the other day, no effort. I watched a video and was like, damn, I'm going to write a quick script for this. I wrote a quick script. Took me 20 minutes. I edited that. I'm not an editor. And I got 4.4 million views. My biggest piece of advice for small streamers is to hard focus short form content, because has never been an easier time to know how to learn how to edit short form content. There are so many tools. Twitch even has it built into its own system to make short form content. I just cannot stress enough. It really not tilts me. It upsets me when I see people put like 6 to 7 hours a day into learning how to edit long form when they have short form content at the finger, the tip end of their tips. What's the word I'm looking for here? The end of their fingers. Yeah. Tip of their fingers.
Yeah, sorry, I feel you. I think as well, right, to counter your point is that regardless of long form or short form, it's still very hard to be discovered on one platform and drive that over to another platform. Like I've now started streaming on TikTok and also YouTube, but it's still very hard to drive that to your one platform that you want to do well, like for example Twitch. I do hear you though, because obviously the biggest people blow up from TikToks and Instagram, and I don't think TikTok's going anywhere soon. I think it's just getting even better. Like some of the stuff they're adding now with like creators and stuff. I see Stallion talking about it on Twitter the other day. It's like a it's like a creator dashboard. Yeah, it's like a creator dashboard where you can like apply to work with a brand.
Do an advert.
Yeah, do an advert for someone. And obviously you got TikTok Shop. You've got, you know, just gifting on TikTok and stuff. Like I feel that's the main one that can blow people up. But as like a person who does use it, it is very hard to drive a TikTok like video to your stream, regardless of what you put on that video. Like I've had loads of videos do like 100k plus, which to me isn't that much. Like I always said from the back end of last year that one of my goals was to try and hit like a viral video, and to me a viral video is 1 million plus. I feel like I feel like I'm being like a snob saying that, but I don't think 100k is that much on a platform like TikTok. Like for a small video, it is a lot, but in the grand scheme of how many people use that or are going to be interested in that, I don't think it's that many. Maybe that's me being hard on myself, but yeah, I think it does depend.
Does the 100k video have any comments or likes?
Yeah. I mean, I've had videos where people are just rinsing me. I had a video like, what was it? Like 2 months ago, I posted a Marvel Rivals video of like someone not healing me, and oh my god, I've never received so much hate in my life. I was like, I'm not joking, like tons. I mean, if I click on it now, I think it was like, I think I had 3k comments on TikTok. I had about 500 and something on Instagram. Like it was nuts. I couldn't believe how much hate I was getting. And like to me, I don't care. Listen, you think I care what people on TikTok have to say about me? Like I really couldn't care less. But I know that can then come with like making content is hate comments and like just comments in general, you know, about people, and like people were just the amount of reviewed comments I had to go through was insane. I literally clicked on it one day after going to sleep and I had 150 reviewed comments, and I had to go through all of them thinking like, is that all right? People just insulting the hell out of me, like just anything possible. So yeah, I do agree. Short form is the way, and like you shouldn't predominantly focus on long form because there isn't a lot of discoverability in long form. It's more in short form.
Long forms is the angle. People really just get hung up on YouTube.
They do, yeah.
It's still just that TikTok stigma of it being a dancing app. Like, the quicker people
really
move away from that stigma, again, it still is. Everybody still thinks it. Like, it is such an unbelievably powerful app. And like you just mentioned there, like you really want to convert them from there onto Twitch. Like, why? Keep doing Twitch. Like, but just have TikTok on the side that's growing for you. Like, the creator program is unbelievable. Like the 1 minute plus ad revenue that you can earn. You just said about the 100,000. I think that's probably like $80 in ad revenue.
Yeah,
I guess over 100,000. So like, I think it's like 600 to 800 per million views or something like that.
I think you need to have 10k followers. I think that is to start with like the program.
Stream,
yeah.
Continue, post a video, and then stream. Post the video first and then stream, because then your video will be pushed, your live stream will be pushed, and then live stream, multi-stream, interact with chat here and there, just put it on the side, and then have your TikTok grow, post everything across every platform you possibly can, increase your digital footprint. I just saw you just got raided.
That's right, mate.
And then use long form as an end goal.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, to be fair, as you just rated me, I always talk about this with Lucas about like long form and short form and like how hard it is to like grow and stuff. He just said shut up, by the way. Lucas, thanks so much for raid, bro. Appreciate you.
Love you, Lucas.
But no, yeah, we're just talking about long form and short form. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when you make long form, it's kind of like an achievement. I don't know how to describe it, because I guess it is all just about impressions, really, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, regardless of how well they do or bad they do, like you kind of want to make it work with long form because it's, you know, it's something you've worked hard on. That's something you've worked hard on, rather than, you know, a TikTok that's taking you 20 minutes. But I mean, even that video you made, it was on 4 million views. Like, that was nuts. Like, crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was, like, even you said it wasn't anything great. You just watched back and talked over something, and that was it. That was it.
I just got, I knew why it went viral, and Lucas, my Lucas, not your Lucas,
yeah,
even said he was like, this will go far. But it's funny, like, going viral isn't always a success. Like, that didn't result in anything for me. I mean, I grew by like 2,000 followers or something like that, which is great, which is nice off just one video. I can't stop reading BB's.
no, you're good, bro. You're good.
I meant like, there's 2 Lucases in our lives here, BB. I also can't say your name. I told you I can't say your name. But yeah, I still, my biggest piece of advice for smaller streamers that have no content budget, but they want to make content, is just learn to make short form and just keep going.
Yeah. It's very saturated, but also easy to like kind of get a video to do well. I think you can kind of know when a video is going to do well, but sometimes the least expected videos do well, that's what I do anyway. Like, when I stream, I clip just loads of stuff, and then after stream, I'll go back and look at it and go, okay, that's not good. But I kind of need to get into my head that I should just post it anyway, because like, even the first video that I had hit 100k like ages ago, that was just a terrible fuse clip where I just kept shooting grenades into a building, and it got like 120k, and I was just sitting there looking to myself like, how was that done so well? How was that done very well? Yeah, I just that was very.
The reason things go viral, okay, is because they evoke emotion. Okay, you have a bunch of emotions that you can evoke. If something evokes a laughter, you're more than likely going to share it. Okay, you're more than likely going to be like, I need someone else to laugh with me. I found this so funny. Okay, if something makes you sad, 9 times out of 10, you're never going to share it. If you read an article about 10 people passing away in a car accident, you're not going to take the article and be like, hey, mate, have you seen this? Never in a chance. If you evoke anger, you're more than likely going to share it. If something pisses you off, be like, oh my gosh, did you see this? Donald Trump's being an absolute twat again. Like, you're going to share it. Everything that goes viral is because it evokes an emotion. And every time you make a piece of content, the one question in your head needs to be, what emotion is this evoking? Is this funny? Is this making someone sad? Is this making someone angry? Like, every piece of content that you've put up probably evokes humor. Like, someone watches that fuse clip if you just pumping grenades in and thinks, oh yeah, that's class. Like, or they get really angry because they're like, damn, I've been in this situation before. Like, screw fuse players. Like, and then they send it to their fuse friend. Yeah. Like, everything you make, and do not ever put out a piece of content if it doesn't evoke any emotion whatsoever. That is why something goes viral. That's it.
True. Wow.
There you go.
There's nothing more I can say to that, really. You said it all yourself.
Sorry.
I think you got your point across there, mate. No, it's good tips, though. It's good tips. No, it is good tips, though. You are 100% bang on the money. But yeah, let's get through these questions because I don't want to keep you too long, mate. What are some of the benefits you have now being your own boss? I guess, you and Lucas.
None.
You and Lucas. None, yeah? Okay.
No,
that's the next question then.
Being your own boss has lots of benefits, but lots of negatives at the same time. But the benefits, yeah, you can do what you want when you want. If I want to go travel the world whilst I do my work, I can do that. But I will, I can go on holiday for as long as I want or whatever. Being your own boss is, very beneficial, especially if you can delegate. It's one of the best jobs ever is like being your own boss, for sure.
Yeah.
There's some negatives too. So you don't get praise anymore.
No, yeah.
No one ever praises you.
No one ever praises you anyway.
No, a year I've been doing this and no one inside GP praises the boss. No one.
Damn.
You don't get praised anymore. No one taps you on the back and says, well done, boss. You're doing a great job.
They say, when am I getting a pay rise?
Yeah, literally, like, pay rise? You're doing a great job, boss.
Yeah, a great job. Pay rise? Question mark.
Yeah. And also, people are relying on you for money. So you always have that.
Well, you're the you're the head of the ship, ain't you? So
Exactly. So like, if there's 10 people that we're paying a monthly salary to, that's 10 people that are relying on us to for their finances. So you always have that stress that there's a lot of people relying on you.
I was going to say, is that one of your biggest stresses, that you know that like people are relying on the money to like not survive but like live? You know what I mean? Like people with you know, like kids, or you know, they got house bills to pay, and do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is like when a big bill comes in, or I don't know, something like that. There's always that, or you look at your runway, like if we carry on the same thing that we're doing, how long are we going to survive? Type thing. Sorry,
yeah.
hiccups.
No, you're good, bro.
But yes, that is one of the biggest stresses.
Yeah,
for sure. But
that's because that comes with like a lot of emotion and stuff, doesn't it? Really, you know what I mean? Like that side of it, which is not ideal. But yeah, I think being your own boss is a good. I think the only con is like the safety, isn't it? Like the only, like you don't have, maybe not working as your own boss, but like the safety of, like, say freelancing, for example, like you don't know when your next kind of like money is going to come in. I think that's just in content as well. Like I know I find as well, I've kind of had a bit more success at the start of this year than I had throughout the whole of last year, or like 6 to 7-ish months of the last year. Like it's slow progress, but that's what you got to see it as, is progress at the end of the day, regardless of like how big or small it is. But then again, it is nice to be like shown, not appreciation, but it's nice to be shown like love by either that's a brand or like someone online, that you know you are doing something well and what you're doing is good, and like people actually enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Goes down to like, you know, being praised and stuff. It's tough. It is tough because sometimes you feel like not alone, but you feel like, am I just doing this for like, well, who am I doing this for? Like for me, for example, sometimes I stream 5 times a week. Sometimes I sit there and come off stream, I'm like, was that good? Like, did people enjoy that? Like, am I doing something different? Like, and then I just get in my head about like, yeah, I'm not, to be fair, I'm just like my own worst enemy, because I always think I'm not doing something, but then I always have to take my mind out of it and go, well, no, some people are like kind of reliant on me streaming, and like that's their sort of, you know, like not escape, that's the wrong word, but like it's their, you know, they know what time I'm going to be live, they know what community they're in, and they know like how I am and stuff, and it's like an enjoyment to them. Do you know what I mean? I'm like putting on more like a service, whereas I don't see it as that, because I just see it as me going live in safe space. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's kind of like a safe space. But I think that's what a lot of other streamers get in their head about as well, is when, you know, they aren't hitting the numbers they want to hit, or they aren't seeing progress, it's hard to sort of think like, right, well, I've got, you know, 10 to 20 people. Now how do I double that and make it 40 or 60 or 80? Do you know what I mean? How do I then get more people in my stream, or, you know, watching my content, or which is something I struggle with, I'm not going to lie.
If you, like, the biggest thing for that, just get a bit of paper and write down the positives, the things that are going well. Like, use it almost as like a therapy session, right? With yourself. You just write down everything that you think is going well with your stream. Like if you're a stats guy, like, and you keep focusing on the stats, or like your growth and stuff, like a positive would be that you have 30 people coming back every single time. Like, you just write that down. And then if you start to doubt yourself, you just look at the things that are going well right now, and you're like, okay, actually, damn, it's just the voice in the back of my head that thinks I'm not doing very well. But like the activity of just writing it out, something that's going well, is like a massive thing. And you should definitely adopt it. If you ever feel that imposter syndrome coming in, just take 10 minutes, write down everything that's going really well right now, and then just read it back.
Yeah, I think like for me, I just struggle with it a little bit, because I'm always like you said, imposter syndrome. Like, I'm always on to the next thing. I can never sort of like celebrate what I've done. Like, when the only time I sort of feel that is when people are like, oh my God, that's so sick, you did that with someone, or like you got this, or you've done that. And then I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then I'm just like, what's the next one? I still like, I'm not grateful, because I am. Like, I know the position I'm in now is like, you know, I have stuff coming in, and like I actually am happy with everything that's going on. But I'm kind of like, right, well, now what's next? Like, how do I then upgrade and make it better, and make like me as a brand, or like as a person better than what I was 2 months ago when I did something else. You know what I mean? But I think it's hard for streamers because it's like you're always looking at numbers. I always try my absolute best to never look at my Twitch summary ever. I just never ever look at it because I'm just like, if I look at it, the number that I'm looking at is never going to be what I think it is. So,
for sure.
Like that's another tip as well. If anyone streams or a small streamer, please, for the love of God, turn your live viewers off. You don't need to know how many live viewers you've got ever. You just don't need to look at that number. It doesn't need to be there. You don't need to see it. It just doesn't. It's always going to be worse than what you think it is because, you know, you could stream and have like 7 people and then the next day you have 10 or the next people you have 17 or 18 or 19. It goes up and up and up. But the more you see it every day, you're going to go, oh, well, I had 25 yesterday. Now I've got 7. You know, it gets you demotivated because you think, well, what have I done wrong now? Like, why do people not like what I'm doing or that sort of thing? I think you can sort of tell if a stream's doing semi-decent by how active your chat is and how active, like, your messages are as well, which is why, leading on to brands, I think, personally, with brands now, that they should be looking at chat messages because it's very easy for someone to have inflated numbers throughout, like, a small period of time than it is for someone to have 30, 40 viewers and have, you know, 1,000 chat messages in their chat every day or 500 or whatever than it is someone having 100 but only having 50 or 100 chat messages. Like, to me, yeah, okay, you have more viewers, but is it really because you're not really gauging that, like, you're not really getting that engagement from the 100 people compared to the 30 people who are, like, everyone's talking in there. And obviously where it's live, it's very hard. That's what I always think about myself as well is, yeah, okay, my viewers might not be going up every day or they might change a lot, but I have to remember that it's live and, like, not everyone can be there at that time that I'm doing it. Like, people have their own lives, doing their own thing, working jobs, you know, outside stuff happening on. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I cut you entirely then.
No, go on.
Back to your brand comment though, the engagement versus impressions, and the brands need to be looking at engagement. Like, that just comes down to their own goals. Like, if this is a brand that wants to just increase their awareness and brand awareness, like, their only goal is impressions. They just want the most amount of people to see what they do. Whereas if there is a brand that's trying to get you to buy something, then that's when engagement is obviously key, and that's when it really matters. So that's why you'll see some people get some paid sponsorship and they get a stupid amount of views and, like, barely any engagement, and they've been giving it purely because that brand just wants to increase their awareness and they want more people to know about them. Whereas the people that have, like, a higher engagement, like, engagement is I still think is still one of the most important things. If you look at, like, this, like, social media engagement, you can have 1,000 followers, but if you get 100 likes every single time, like, your engagement's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just all up to the brand and what their main goal is when it comes to their, like, advertising, like, campaign.
Yeah, I hear that, but it is also hard to, like, not stomach that, but I kind of want it to be the more engagement route because I feel like that converts more. Like what you're saying about buying something or feeding into something, it converts more if people are actually engaging in what you're doing than X amount of people watching, but they're not really watching. Especially Twitch, for example, because, you know, you can have lurkers, and lurkers are not watching what you're doing. They're just there to boost the number up, or they're just off doing their own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, would you not rather have 30, 40 people that are there watching you live talk about what you're talking about, or have 100 people, but, you know, 80 of them are lurking? Or do you get what I mean? Like, sure. That's why I feel like chat messages are massive in, like, anyone that wants people to do sponsored streams and stuff is, like, I feel like that's the way to go because you're converting it as well as, like, getting the interaction of, oh, I didn't know about this company does this, or, oh, that's sick, you got to do that, or how did you get that, rather than it being no one engaging and they're just there because, no, they're just lurking or whatever. But yeah, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. But I think brands are more, like, branching out to, not smaller creators, but more, like, people that actually have an engaging community and, like, could build traction from the way they are compared to someone who might have more social media presence, but they don't have.
It also takes a lot more time though to find
Oh yeah,
engaged
for sure.
audiences.
No, for sure,
Versus going on Twitch tracker, ascending top viewers to lowest viewers, like is
But that can
significant
also be
user
inflated
differences.
as well. Which is my point about it. It can be massively
View
inflated.
bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But again, that's a whole other topic we're not going to get into right now.
Next podcast.
Yeah, next podcast. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, moving on from that. How do you manage working with some of the biggest content creators? So I guess this is more like about their personalities and how they, how each of them might want something completely different to the next person.
Yeah, it basically just comes down to how involved they want to be. We have, let's say, Niceweek, for instance. He talks to us all the time, has ideas. We do dedicated content with him. He's fully involved. He is responsive when he wants to be responsive. But the biggest issue with working with big streamers is just sometimes how difficult they are to get hold of, and just like nail down to work with and shoot content that we need them to shoot content. But then we also have streamers that don't want to do anything. They are handing it off to us to handle everything. They don't want to know anything. They don't care. Like, it's just, here's the work, go for it. And then they don't want to be involved. We have Kaide, for instance. She just wants to stream, but she wants a really active content and socials. So we just handle everything, YouTube videos, etc. And she gives some feedback here and there if there's a piece of content that she wants a little bit changed. But yeah, every content creator is different, and it just depends how busy they are, and how responsive they want to be. But the whole like starstruck aspect to it probably doesn't hit me much anymore. I was exposed to some pretty big names when I was at TSM, so kind of like got to adapt to the whole starstruck, like, oh my lord, you are
this person.
like, you are this person. I think I've got starstruck a few times in the last couple of years. I met Toast at an Apex event, and like my heart was literally pounding because I don't know, he's just one of those guys that transcends gaming, and a lot of people know who he is. And yeah, so I guess that's another scenario of getting a little bit starstruck. But working with content creators is difficult, has its challenges. It just depends how involved they want to be. Basically, meeting Bergson as well.
Everyone's completely different. Yeah, everyone's completely different.
Exactly.
But I think that's just how people like, make their content, right? Just regardless of like your brand or something. Everyone's different to how they want something. Like, I know for me, sometimes people have offered to edit for me, and like, one, I don't have the financial thing to do that. But two, it's like, I know how I want it to be edited, and I know how I want it to look. So if it isn't like that, then it's not. I'm not gonna. It doesn't kind of feel like it's coming from me, even though you've edited it for me. It's like, oh, I would have done something different there, or I don't really like that, and it's kind of like a back and forth of, oh, well, I didn't like that part of the video, but I like the rest of it, or oh yeah, I really loved that, or oh no, I didn't like any of it. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of like feedback you have to get from if you enjoy it yourself. But then again, it goes back to just because you don't enjoy it doesn't mean other people are not going to enjoy it, because you're not the consumer, are you? You're just the producer of the content,
Yeah, exactly. Jack asked a question in chat, which I know we said we weren't going to do anything, but
no, go on.
Spot it next. It makes sense. And he asked how we convince creators that our strategy direction is the best one. 99% of the time, they've come to work with us because they don't know what is the right direction and the right strategy and what they should be doing. And then that's where we're able to then talk to them about, this is what you should be doing. This is why you should be doing it. Like, every decision we make is backed up by data. It's always scientifically backed up. But like, we don't just say, hey, you should do this. And they're like, why? And we're like, I don't know, some expert on Twitter said that we should. Like, we then say, we back it up with data, like, etc. So like 9 times out of 10, it's us giving direction and them just saying like they're happy with it. We do have one client which is the client is always right scenario, where even if we think something, if they want it that way, they'll have it that way. And you just kind of have to be like, all right, well, we've said what we think is right. If it fails, then we have our reasoning here, and we'll explain to you after when it fails why it failed, type vibe. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So you're just the person to go to about what
Yeah.
you need to do, basically. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. To be fair, I actually had that question written down as well. I've been taking
Nice.
notes since people have been doing it. But yeah, I agree, mate. I agree with you.
Good man.
What was the next question? What are some of your goals you want to achieve this year for yourself / your business? So I guess you can just start yourself. This could be anything to do with like you as a person. So like, I don't know, like growing your socials or, you know, fitness or whatever it is, you know? And then obviously your brand as well.
Cool. I don't have any goals, but I'm building systems because systems matter, goals don't. My systems and what I want to become, I want to improve. I want to become a content creator. But basically, yeah, I want to pursue my own content, continue to develop who I am and my brand, and continue to make my own content. That's one of my biggest it would be an achievement this year if I was to accomplish it. Sorry, sometimes I keep reading your Twitch chat.
No,
it just
you're all
makes me
good.
laugh.
You can read it. It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, I would really like to invest time into my own content, and I love being on camera. I love talking head videos. I just want to spend more time in my own content. And I have an issue right now where I don't really know what direction to push my content in or like what I should be doing. So maybe I'll talk to my own creative content agency about what I should be doing.
What you should do, yeah.
And then in terms of the business, is just continue to grow. Nail the 2 esports tournament organizers that we're talking to. Get both of those on board. I have revenue targets in my head, which I'm definitely not going to share. That I would love to achieve this year. But yeah, overall, I just trying to work on myself. Try to work on my own mental health, physical health, and every day, I just want to be 1% better. I live by Project Kaizen, which is just continual improvement. I want to wake up and be a better person than I was yesterday. And continue to push myself and excel in what I'm doing. But time is a factor, unfortunately.
100%.
I really wish there was 36 hours in a day and not 24.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what you just said there, though, about your personal thing, I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about taking your own advice. Like the vlogs, for example. Like, I actually really enjoy them. Like, I'm not just saying that because you're here. Like, I've actually watched your vlogs and, like, enjoy... For example, the LGS ones where you're talking about what you're doing and like behind the scenes of like when you talk to players and like the interviews and how long it takes for you to make like the posts that go out on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. Like to me, that's interesting because you're never going to know that. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll never know that that's what goes into it. And you know, you're working like 12 hours a day or 16 hours a day, then it's bang, go again the next day and the next day and the next day, and it's quick. Like I remember watching your one in, I think it was LA. I think it was when you stayed in that little house with the pool and all that sort of stuff. That one.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, like I going back to, there's 2 things I really want to quickly pull out. One, you talked about earlier how you're never allowed to give a compliment to someone because they're just going to come in and they'll be like, stop glazing him. And what do we see in chat right now? Glazers, twats. Okay, so first off, that's done and dusted. You can glaze someone without glazing them. Just give out a compliment. It's okay to big up your bros.
It is.
Secondly, I freaking love vlogging. All right. I actually, this time around, I built a structure, okay? Because I spoke to my content agency. And I used to just vlog and I would just like freaking point the camera and I just talk it. There's kind of like no reason to do what I'm doing. And then they were like, you need a structure, you need a purpose, you need your vlogs to make sense. Like, why is someone going to stay from the start to the end? So I wrote a structure this time, and I've shot B-roll. Like, I shot some vlog of me in the gym, but to get from my office to the gym, I shot a little bit of like context of me getting my gym bag ready, getting my shoes and stuff. So like, it flows better. But this all takes time. Like storytelling takes so much time.
Yeah.
And like I love vlogging. It's my favorite. If I could be a full-time vlogger, like that's what I would do. That would be my ultimate dream because I just love it. It's just like, it's just so cool. But like I've done an episode, I've shot everything, and I just need it to be edited. And I will continue to put time into my vlog. So I really appreciate your feedback on that you enjoy it. My biggest issue is that so much of my time is spent in these four walls. Okay, I will get here 6 a.m. I will leave this office at 6 p.m. I'll sometimes come back to this office at 8 p.m. and I'll leave this office at 12 a.m. All right. That is a lot of the same content in the same room. And there's only so many angles I can make in this room. And that is my biggest issue. And my biggest difficulty is that making it interesting, because at the end of the day, your content needs to be engaging and interesting and keep the viewer wanting to watch more. And if it's the same room, very challenging.
Get a bit boring, yeah. That's what I was going to say. That's why I find it hard, like, as vloggers, I feel like it must be their biggest downfall that they always in their head about, right, what can I do next? Where can I go next? What can what can I film? I can't remember the name. It's just coming in my head now. Back in the day, there used to be these two Americans. Their names were like Jesse and Gina. I can't remember what their channel name was, though. I can't remember what their channel name was. Someone might know. But they used to just film like their whole life. PvP, that's it. PvP. They were so good. Like, I used to watch every single one of their vlogs for like 2 years straight, where they would just go and do stuff like around, and they made like their own song, and they made like their own like meme around it, and like just pranks, and then they just did so much stuff, and it was so interesting to watch. Like, their lives weren't that crazy, but it was like interesting to actually see what it was like for them, you know, as them. And that was back in the day when there wasn't really much like people getting taken out to places and like, you know, brands wanting to work with them and stuff. That was like very, very early on days of YouTube. But like that stuff to me was just so interesting, which is why I'm saying about the LGS stuff is like, yeah, okay, you can sit in them four walls, but as soon as you have the opportunity to like go out and do something at an event, like whether that's a meeting or like a big event you've been invited to, or something you've done that's quite cool, that's, you know, not your norm, then people are then instantly going to be interested in it. Like I made silly little vlogs when I went to Germany and like stuff like that. They were just silly little things where I just recorded for 10 seconds and then at the end of the day, CapCutted and just spoke into my mic and then just spoke about what happened. Yeah, on CapCut. Because CapCut's easy on phone. On phone, CapCut's so easy. It takes like, it's not hard to use.
But don't explain, next time you do your vlog, don't explain what you're doing. Show them what you're doing. Don't be like, and I got on a train, and there's a train. And I went to this hotel, and there's a hotel. Explain what you're doing in the day. I'm heading up to London to go to this creator event, and as you're over talking, the footage is the story. You're getting on a train, you're going into your hotel room, etc. Don't tell, show. Okay. But that's beside the point. The thing is, I've got lots of LGS events. We're locked in for another year 5, so we're going to be working with them until end of March next year, and we're going to be going to the LANs, etc. But like, what we do at LAN is fairly similar at each one, so that content can almost feel a little bit too repetitive. So then that's when I need to lock in and try and find a more unique way to tell the story of what we're doing at that event. But we have a couple of other stuff coming up this year, which I'll try and vlog. I'm getting ready for New Orleans. I think that'll be a really wicked one because it's the ALGS Open. Trying to be careful with what I talk about here, not to accidentally leak stuff.
No, you haven't leaked anything, don't worry.
New Orleans is live. It's the ALGS Open, and then that'll be wicked. And then there's a few other things coming up. Like I went skiing at the weekend with some friends. I captured a little bit of that, but like I really like to keep my own personal life a little bit separate. So like I openly talk and share most of my stuff, but I just don't feel comfortable like vlogging with my daughter and my wife there. I'm not sure.
No,
so
and
obviously that makes up a lot of my life. So yeah, it's a real tricky.
I'm the same though.
Balance.
Like I've never shown my girlfriend on stream or whatever. Like she's never once been on stream. I've been streaming for like. Shut up, first of all. Second of all, that's just the way I'm doing it. Why am I catching strays? That was meant to be nice and wholesome. I was actually agreeing with you.
Bro, we've been nice to each other for 2 hours and 45 minutes, all right? We just needed
Sorry.
1 hour.
Okay. I'll let you have that one. I'll let you have that one.
Just one.
Okay. But I agree with like the whole like personal life and like side of it. Like I try and not show her that much because one, I don't think she wants to be on camera, and two, that's my personal life. You know what I do behind closed doors is like anyone's business. You know. But yeah, even like the skiing content, I'm sure people are like that. Do you know what I mean? Something different to seeing what you've done normally and.
Exactly. I'm trying to do more personal stuff outside of work that just involve me and what I'm doing. So I'm trying to eat healthier. So like the cooking aspect, I'm trying to get fitter. So the fitness aspect, going to the gym, and just any other fun things I do. So yeah, I'm trying. That's my biggest goal this year, or biggest thing that I'm trying to invest time into is my own personal content, and then also try and market GP a bit better and work on their social media and the marketing side of things there. So
okay,
lots to do this year, hopefully.
So much, yeah. Okay, I think we only have like a few questions left on this. Yeah, we do. Okay, so describe your first breakthrough moment and how did it feel? I guess if you think you had one,
or like, I mean, like getting hired by TSM is still today the biggest achievement I've ever had, I think, because it was a self-made pickup. The quick lore behind it is I've been a TSM fan since like 2015, and I thought their social media was so bad. So I went and made my own social media account for them called TSM Report in 2018, and I just did what they did, but better. And then they noticed it, and then they reached out, and then they asked me to do their social media. And then I went from being an unpaid, doing it for free, to the head of social. So like that will forever be one of my biggest breakthrough moments that I realized, hey, I can do this, and I'm class. That's
you know your worth. Yeah, I agree. You know your worth, mate. Okay, well, besides that, what about you as a business then? Would you say like the up and coming things you've got, the two
signing ALGS?
Okay, I mean that is a big one. Yeah,
it's massive. That came about in October 2023. So like 4 months into our inception, we started working with the LGS. And yeah, that was like crazy. And then I guess the second one is when the investors came to us too, because again, we didn't go for seeding. We didn't tell anyone that we wanted investment. They came to us and was like, we see what you're doing. We want to invest in you. And then we sold 33% of our business to investors. So yeah, there's two like big moments. They just come one after. So like we had our first big breakthrough, and then the second one, it's kind of like you're going up a level each time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess those are the three key moments for me in the last like 7 years.
Yeah, I think they make you feel like you're doing something right as well. You know, like you're.
Oh yeah, exactly.
What you're doing and like what you're creating, someone is actually enjoying it, and they wanna, they wanna get on board with it, regardless of what it is. You know, whether that's a sponsorship or like investors or whatever. Okay, well, this is a big question. How far do you think esports can grow worldwide as a business?
Oh, the elusive esports.
The lucrative question.
How long is EWC around for? Who knows? I don't know. Esports is being propped up right now. Fully propped up. Salaries are inflated. There's no sponsorship deals. Everyone's looking for an organization. Organizations don't do shit when you sign for them. Like, I don't know. Esports is in such a horrible, horrible state right now. I'm like, we were told internally that lots of other esports are going to die. That lots of other esports teams are going to die in the next like 3 years. And that's why TSM's gone into hibernation. And they're protecting their money, waiting for everyone else to die, and then they'll just come and eat up. I don't know what their plan is, but And we're seeing it. There's esports orgs like dying, leaving games, can't afford, because there's that whole everybody wants an esport to make it like people leave Rocket League because there's no revenue opportunities for organizations. But why should Rocket League as an esports pay or fund themselves at a loss to have an esports scene? It's a whole like 50-50 between teams and tournament organizers, that teams want to be paid to play in their leagues and have revenue opportunities, but if that means the esports the tournament organizer is going to lose money, why would they do it? And like people scream for esports skins all the time, and they do it in Apex. There's no orgs in Apex that would drive the sheer amount of sales to make it worth it. Like maybe back when TSM were big, I think when they did the banners. When they did the team banners,
yeah, they did team banners.
TSM's team banner was the only one that made money. The Apex lost money on every other banner. I don't know how that works, but it's whatever. So like this, it's such a esports is in a really cooked situation. Is that there's not enough sponsors. There's no one's spending marketing dollars at the moment because nobody knows what's going on with the economy. You look at the American economy. Who knows what mood Trump's going to wake up in today, or what person Elon Musk is going to try and pay off. So like marketing spend is being invested into areas that they know is going to make a return, and it's not being invested into esports, and it's not being invested into to new markets here. So honestly, the question is, I've absolutely no clue how far it can go. It was on a trajectory to be absolutely incredible. You know, it was breaking $1 billion. The game industry itself is worth more than music and TV and film put together. Like gaming as a whole, as an industry, is by far and large the biggest entertainment industry. But esports obviously doesn't follow that same curve. So yeah, it's a loaded question, and there isn't an answer. Unfortunately, I have no clue. With the right backing, it could be mega, but it also requires new games. Like Marvel Rivals is, but if we had this conversation like 6 months ago, the question would be like, we haven't had a new esport blow up. When was the last one? Legitimately, when was the last one before Marvel Rivals? Apex? Fortnite?
Maybe Apex, yeah.
Fortnite was way before Apex.
Maybe Apex, yeah.
Warzone? Okay, yeah, Warzone probably.
Maybe Warzone, yeah.
Use that term loosely.
Yeah, very loosely.
Valorant. No, Valorant. 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, was that 2020, was it?
Valorant was 2020, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, Valorant. I mean, Valorant is massive.
5 years. 5 years since we've had and that's a tier 1 esport.
Yeah. I mean, even Marvel Rivals now is very, very new. But they're investing a lot into it, and they've got like actual traction behind that.
Tons of teams are jumping into that because they've obviously been told something. Like teams would not be picking up like that's the way it works, is that they will go to orgs and they'll say, hey, we're launching this scene. Here's the esports. Here's the roadmap. Like, we'd love for you to be involved. And then they go and sign a team and they get involved. Like, they don't just see a new game and like, screw it, I'm just going to sign a new team. 100 Thieves, TL, like everybody's signing a new team. So like, this is obviously going to go. There will be an esport scene. I don't know what their path is, but 5 years that's taken.
Yeah.
So it requires a new game to come through. And if you look at the new games coming down the line too, like there's nothing competitive. Everyone just keeps trying to do shooters. I'm failing. Look at the finals. What are some of the other ones? X-Defiant. Oh, lol. What was Shroud's one?
Oh,
just died.
I can't remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Because Fragpunk, yeah. There's just a lot of games. I don't know. There's just loads of games. I think they try and... well, especially like X-Defiant, for example. That game was very good when it came out. Like, it was interesting because it was kind of like COD. It had the feel of COD, but you had abilities and you can actually use stuff around it. But they just had constant bad updates. Not patching stuff, not fixing stuff, cheaters. like it just all compiled on top of them, and people just give up because they're just like, well, why should I play this game when, you know, this gun isn't fixed, or this bug isn't still fixed, or there's just cheaters everywhere, and I'm facing, especially in like 6v6 shooters as well, or 4v4. It's a lot different to having cheaters in like a battle royale, for example, or that sort of thing. You're not always going to run into them. If you're facing a cheater on a 4v4, you're in that game to the end. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think for that, like a game like that, for example, it's just, you have to be very, very, very quick. You have to be reactive rather than it being like, this is our roadmap, we'll release this update at this time. No, you need to be looking at the game every day, pretty much, and seeing how, you know, the feedback on the data and what that's showing and like player, you know.
People underestimate casuals.
Yeah.
Like I feel like inside esports, everybody is in this like bubble. When I say esports, I just mean like competitive gaming, is that people forget about the casual, and like they just look at it in this hyperbolic chamber of like, if you look at Apex, the casual numbers are unbelievable because it's on console and nobody knows the console figures. And like, people always just think that everything should be driven by the vocal minority inside the competitive scene. And it's like, why are you making this change? Like, we hate this. This isn't competitive. And it's like, it's hundreds of millions of casual dudes, 13, 14-year-olds that are going to load up their Xbox today and go and play, and the changes for them. And like, I feel like it pisses me off, and I see it the most in Apex, because that's the scene I'm mostly in, like as a player.
Yeah.
But like everybody, just forgets about the casual player, and that's so many decisions are made for the casual player, and they're also the ones driving the revenue. They're the ones buying the skins. So yeah,
that's a tough one. I think going down the route of like high-end gaming or catering to casuals, you know, it's hard to find a balance between the two they're both going to be happy with. Because at the end of the day, any game that gets released, anyone's always got something negative to say about something. Do you know what I mean? Sure. Again, with the whole negativity, like, oh, the game's dying, or it's dead, and like that whole, I'm not gonna lie, that whole period of like 2 months where it was just like people were tweeting there, uninstalling the game. It's just like, I couldn't stand that. Like, it just wound me up. And then people will come in and be like, oh, you still playing this game? Well, yeah, because I enjoy it. Like, just because you don't enjoy it now doesn't mean that I then have to go, oh yeah, no, I don't enjoy it, because it's not how it works. People still play like CSGO and like Siege. Like, them games have been out for years, like years and years and years. And they still have a scene. You know, whether you think it's a bad game or not, it's, you know, it's you as a person playing it. People still play games that are like 20, 30 years old, like single player games and stuff like that, you know, they just love playing the game through, and like the DLC and that sort of stuff. Like, it doesn't have any sort of effect on just because there's a time zone on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Just to touch back on the esports skins I talked about, some people still can't get their head around why they don't do them. But it's, again, comes down to the casual person again. If a team, let's say Apex, pays their designer to make an esports skin, and then they have to sell that skin, Timmy has £10 to spend on a skin. Would they rather Timmy puts £10 into a skin where they keep 100% of the profit, or £10 into a skin where they're going to have to give up 50% of the profit to go to the other esports org? That's the easiest way to like think about esports skins. But the counter to that is just make the skin 20 quid instead. And I'm sure the esports fans will still pay for it.
To be fair though, Call of Duty did that, and I know that like did really well at the time. Like when CDL was like popping, they made like, I remember even I bought it. I can't remember what team I bought, but it was something. I can't remember. I think it might have been the Royal Ravens, the London Royal Ravens. Like, they brought out all the skins: Optic, FaZe, Royal Ravens.
All right,
what's the other
those
ones?
aren't skins.
Toronto Ultras.
Right. They made one skin and then they just recolored them all. But then I guess you could do that in any esport. I bought them.
Exactly.
I always used to buy phases in
exactly.
But orgs do design them. I designed TSMs back in 2020 or 2021 for a game. So like, but then you still have to pay someone to put it in the game, and it's not as easy as just like dragging and dropping it. But anyway, we're sticking too long in esports skins.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. Do you think all your experiences being in the content world help you get to where you are today?
Yeah, I would say. The amount of content I consume content on every platform too. So I'll doom scroll TikTok, I'll doom scroll Instagram Reels, and I'll watch YouTube videos. The hardest thing is taking my own personal opinion out of a piece of content if I don't think it's good, is removing yourself from the situation and being like, do I not think it's good because I am not a fan of that content? So then just being able to think as an audience about what they would like is probably one of the hardest things to do in content. And when you're working it is, yeah, removing your own personal opinion from the situation. But yeah, like being able to consume content on every platform and understand what works and where it works is definitely helped me get to where I am today.
Yeah, I think you've got the advantage of being there for so long that you naturally just figure out, like, it's trial and error, isn't it? Like, you trial something that might not work.
Yeah.
And then you go with a different idea and that works. You just keep going with it. Like we was talking about with TikToks earlier on. Like if you know something's working, you just keep going with it. You just keep going. I remember seeing like a Marvel Rivals creator. He did like a, let's review my teammates. Like the guy screaming at me in a game, and he'd go back in his clips, or go back in his like the theater mode and like review what the guy's doing and talk over it. And he just kept going and going and going and going and going. It'd be like day 47 of doing it. Day 78 of doing it. He just kept going and going. And like, that's just such a small idea that's so silly, but it just works. It just works.
Keep going.
Yeah, you just have to keep pushing through it. But yeah, I think you know, you've got some sort of idea of what you know how to make content and if it's going to do well or not. Because at the end of the day, you never know if anything is going to do well. You just have to sometimes wing it. But if you have a better idea of how to like lay out a video than rather than it being, because obviously everyone, like I said, going back to talking about editing, everyone has their own different styles of editing and like how they want to edit a video. So it's like if someone has a better idea of it, they can then structure it way better, like with an intro and like a hook and that sort of stuff, and then you know that just generates more impressions and more views, for example.
To the average Joe making content, every video needs to be structured in the way that works, and then you add your style to the structure. Every video needs a hook at the start to keep someone engaged. If you're in the top percent, like Kaisenat, IShowSpeed, like they could make the worst structured content in the world and everybody will consume it because that's like a cult fan base. But for your average Joe, yeah, there's a way to make content work, and it's the hook. You have 5 seconds to grab someone's attention, to stop them from swiping. Yeah. If you waste those 5 seconds, like the best thing ever that I love is when a content creator comes to us and says, my content's just not working. Like, what's up? Go to their channel. You open up their YouTube video, and the first 10 seconds is their like logo music introduction that they've paid someone on Fiverr to make. And it's like, you're using the first 10 seconds of your video to play some intro with your logo that makes you look like you're about to drop the hottest COD montage of 2005. Like, and I love it, and I'm just like, right, this is going to be one of the quickest and easiest fixes ever. Like, get rid of that. Like, get rid of it instantly. No one needs it. It's pointless. Or like when they say like, hey YouTube, I'm Jeff and I'm back with this. It's like, no one cares. Just tell me what you're going to do instantly. I don't care what your name is. I'll find that out after if I like your content. Just be like, today I'm going to do this. Like, today I'm going to take P2020s to Masters. Instant.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
5 seconds.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's very, like, I think that's what people forget is like the first, like you said, 5 seconds. I think it's even less than that, to be honest. I think it might even 100%. Be like 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Yeah, it has to be instant. Like, it has to be, which is why I think a good tactic is showing, like, kind of showing the end of it, but not the end of the video, if that makes sense. So you're kind of showing like a snippet of the chunk of like what the video is about, but put that at the front. So then it's like, this is what's going to come up. And you're like, oh my God, like, how did they do that? Or, oh my God, that's sick. How did they do that? And then you watch the video to find out if they've done that or
it's
not.
Back to evoking emotion.
Yeah.
What emotion are you going to evoke there? Intrigue. Oh, I actually want to know how he's going to do this. Like, Yeah, it's just about evoking emotions, man. So all you gotta do, just evoke it.
Be emotional.
Just be emotional.
Be emotional. I agree. Be emotional.
Like I have this oh my lord, it's something I'm actively trying to get out of my brain. But on TikTok, okay, there's a trick to see if a video is going to be long or short, and it's at the bottom of the video. If there is a draggable bar, the video is going to be long or over a minute. I think it's over 30 seconds, and then you get a scrub bar. Okay, it might even be over 15 seconds. If I see a scrub bar at the bottom, I skip, no matter what you're going to tell me.
Damn.
Okay, if there is no scrub bar, then I know the video is going to be quick and I can consume it. And it's something that I'm personally trying to break through this mold at the moment. So if anyone wants their content to hit with me, shit, you better make it short. I am a hater.
You like it short, yeah? Okay, anyways, mate. That's good to know.
Yes, sir.
Short content, yeah? Okay, that's your go-to. I mean, yeah, that's fair, because like I said, it goes back to doom scrolling, doesn't it? Like where, you know, people are just, like, short form is just so... Yeah, I like that. 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 You just keep scrolling and scrolling. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I like that. Like, people rarely watch... People are rarely going to watch your video more than once. It'll be once, and that's it. Done. That's it. That's the end of it. I'm not going to watch it again. Like,
I also want to send my friends... I also want to send my friends 30 DMs of videos, like, and I want them to be short so I can get through them all, you know?
Everyone's different. Like, everyone's different. Your consumer of, like... how you don't want to watch a video where you can have a scroll bar. You know, everyone's different to how they want to do it. Host constantly out of the chair. Listen, I'm sweating out over here, right? Leave me alone. Right, I've actually got 4... Actually, no, how many we got? Yeah, we've got 4 questions from, like, chat, or... They'll be quick ones. I can't remember who said it, but I said... you've never had a true display of burnout, even in the exit of TSM. You trademarked the moment with ambition for the next. Does DUNC ever slow down, or do you just immune to burnout?
I love that question. It's a great question, though, because someone recognizes my hard work. So it's cool. I like that question. Thanks. No. I have suffered with burnout. I suffer with mental burnout, where I get in my own head and it's like a bit of imposter syndrome, and I feel like I want to do too much and there's not enough time. But I've recently found ways to overcome that, which we talked about earlier with I write down what's going well right now, or I try and plan, prioritize, and what I should be investing my time into. But no, generally burnout isn't a thing for me. I thrive from having lots on and doing lots. I always say that I'm the hardest working person in the room. No one will outwork me. I'm first in, last out. It's with every job I've ever had that I will just put 150% into. And I just get like satisfaction from some of my own personal things I do. Going to the gym is like a massive mega mental reset for me. If I feel like I'm about to start feeling rough, I'll just go to the gym, or I'll go for a walk or do something like that. So but no, typically I try to work all the time, anytime, every time. There's no
that's the slogan.
Separation.
Anytime, also, every time, anytime.
The moment you turn your passion into a career, you'll never work a day in your life. I've not worked for the last 6 years.
Tell him again, DUNC. Tell him again. So true. So true. Turn your passion into your job. I agree.
If you can.
If you can, of course. Yeah. Okay, well, just these quick ones. They're not, they're long ones.
Mate, you don't have to justify it. Just ask the question. It's okay.
No, but I know you're on a time crunch. You're on a time crunch, no? We're not on a time crunch?
We're fine.
Okay, I'll read it.
I would like to be out of here by like 2:30 because I have a client call at 5:00. But
okay,
other than that, we're good.
No worries. That's self-promo, by the way. For pro players, that is self-promo. Yeah. I know it's just about you, mate, but come on. For pro players and influencers alike, at what level of notoriety or following should they consider acquiring support staff, and what type of role should they fill first? So, for example, support staff being talent managers, sponsorship managers, event organizers, producers, cameramen.
Probably talent manager first. When you get to that certain level, like just getting a talent manager, because the talent manager will then they'll continue to grow you, and it's by proxy. They will become a talent managers are ones that will put deals in front of you and sponsorships in front of you. What those sponsorships in turn do, they give you ad revenue, they give you revenue, they give you money. You then get that money and then you invest it back into yourself, or you invest it into your content. Without money, you can't do much. So getting a talent manager is definitely one of the first steps I would do. If I had any form of like fame, notoriety, whatever you want to call it, a talent manager would definitely be the first thing.
Yeah,
I would be looking to do. And then from talent manager, then it's like working with someone with your content. Reach into a community, your own community, find someone that would edit for you, that knows you. Start small, and then do your own research into content and what works and what doesn't work. And then after that, then take your money and invest it in a content agency called Game Plan Media, GPMEDIA.gg. And then from there, could just continue to grow. And then there's a flywheel. It's just a flywheel. Content is just a flywheel.
Yeah.
All right.
A flywheel. Content is just a flywheel.
It's just a flywheel. Get money, make content, get more money. Make content, get more money. Make content, get more money. It's a flywheel.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing the first person I ever saw have a talent manager, and that was Cedral at their it was at the Apex Chaos Cup. I didn't realize it was his like manager until like I like was speaking to her, and I was like, oh, like it was really like confusing because I was like, to me that there wasn't like a lot of massive creators there, and to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, like this might sound like ego, I didn't actually know who he was.
Did you just call K-Drill Cedral?
Oh, is that his name? Is that his name?
Cedral!
Bro, that's what I thought his name was. That's what I thought his name was.
Cedral.
What is this? Okay, K-Drill. Okay, K-Drill. My bad. Okay. I didn't know who he was, right? I didn't know who he was, and that might sound crazy to some people, but I don't watch a lot of people outside of like Apex, so I didn't actually know who he was. And then because he was like really nice to me and like just talking to like all of us, because I remember being on like his team and stuff, and like I saw his talent manager, and I was like, oh. And then that's when I've sort of realized that, like, you know, people have these people for them because it's just way easier and it softens like the the workload of like having to do everything yourself and like talking about like working with brands and like your own content and that sort of thing. Actually, he was really nice. I'm not gonna lie. Your dream client.
He is my dream client.
He was really nice. I'm not gonna lie. He was really nice.
Casual right now. Yeah, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah,
but like he is doing everything. He's built his own internal content team, and then he has a talent manager. Yeah, he's no, it's okay, Lucas. K-Drill reached out to me 3 times when I was on TSM, asking TSM to sign him, and TSM wouldn't do anything about it. And now look at him, bigger than TSM.
Damn.
Short, small.
Okay. That was a crazy bit of lore. That was Jesus.
Yeah. They fumbled the bag hard.
But yeah, I didn't know who he was because I don't really watch that type of game, which is maybe why I didn't really know how to say his name. But like my point was like it was the first sort of time I saw like someone actually have like a talent manager and someone with them like sorting themselves out like for an event and stuff. Yeah.
She's class too, Mitsuku.
Yeah, she is. She's really nice. She's really, really nice. Okay. I've always wanted to get thoughts around copyright, especially on TikTok / Instagram reels, etc. Like I see all these movie clips / green screen clips, but I've always been quite hesitant to use content I don't necessarily own. Any thoughts / advice on that?
Yeah, ask for forgiveness, not permission. Just use it, and then if someone tells you off, just say, I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
That's not bad comms, to be fair, yeah. That is not
honestly,
bad comms, to be fair.
There's a whole copyright is in this weird situation right now. Like, look at what they're doing over at ChatGPT with the Ghibli studio. Like, who knows what copyright is these days? As long as you're not using content from people like Warner Brothers or Disney,
Nintendo,
Marvel, like, just you don't have to be in an idiot,
Yeah.
you know not to use those big ones, but copyright is in such a weird spot right now. There's too much going on for the copyright people to go after. There's like, before it was like really easy to take stuff down. Like I've had tweets taken down because I've used like Iron Man references and stuff, and like before, but now it's like there is a million requests in their email inbox of people using their content that shouldn't be. And it's just too much for them. So like, as long as you're not selling their content, it's like, and you're just talking about it in your content, then I think that you're adding enough, like you're adding enough value on top of what you're using to warrant being able to use it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, because you're kind of promoting them as well as yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And if you like talk about, like in a YouTube video, you put it in where you got the content from, or like courtesy of, or whatever.
It's free impressions for them, isn't it? Really, you think about
Exactly.
it. So it's not a bad thing for both people.
Exactly.
Can I see Cedral's content? Okay, let's just relax. Okay, I messed up once. My bad. Okay, my bad. Okay, we have one question, and then I'll take like some more questions if people want to talk about it at the end. Obviously, you've got a bit of time. Last question I've got written down is: do you? I guess it's do you work with smaller creators or plan to?
Yes and no. We would work. No, probably is the answer.
Okay.
It's so difficult. Yes, we have plans to work with smaller streamers. Probably not to edit their content, but to support them and help them and give them resources to find their own way. Because at the end of the day, we hire people full time. We don't just like bring on content and then find a freelancer who's cheap enough to do that work for us. We have 10 full-time employees, 8 video editors, 2 graphics designers, or content strategists, whatever. And we pay their full-time wages. So it's important that we are recouping enough money to pay for their full-time wage. And often small streamers don't have enough budget to cover it.
Okay.
Plain and simple, full transparency. I don't think anybody will find that answer weird because it's just business. But yes, me and Lucas are actively putting together resources and services that we can offer to small streamers to still help. Because there are loads of people with potential that just are not getting the right opportunities to put themselves in the limelight. Let's talk about Cedral. Cadral, like he's a phenomenal content creator, but he just needed the right opportunity to get. It's so funny, like watching your Twitch stream and getting delayed
watching me back,
reaction.
Yeah.
He just needed that one opportunity, and he's monumentally blown up, and rightfully so. And there are so many other streamers out there too, which are so undeserved, like are so deserving of getting in the limelight. So we want to do what we can, but it's something that, like, yeah, Lucas and I are actively doing. But if any friends want to just reach out to me personally and ask me any questions about content, I have absolutely no issues helping you or answering anything that you have with regards to anything.
DMs are open, yeah?
DMs are open on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. All you gotta do is just make sure you follow me, get those numbers up.
Yeah, he won't reply to you. He doesn't reply to me. I had to ask him for about 6 months to get this done.
Look, okay. Hey, Wallhack. Yo, they're the goats.
W Wallhack. W Wallhack.
We love you. Wait.
Is he about to sell promo?
Promotion? Should we talk about Wallhack's new apparel?
Go on, do it. Go on, do it. Do it now. Go on.
I just want to talk about Wallhack's new apparel. This apparel is absolutely fantastic. The quality is probably one of the best pieces of quality I've ever owned.
I agree.
In an apparel piece, okay? It is thick, it's comfy, and the designs are insane. I freaking love them.
That's hashtag ad. Hashtag ad. He's using my platform to promote himself. Get him gone.
Like,
he had that on the whole. He had that. He's like, oh yeah. Oh fucking hell. Who else has come through?
We get one, Doug. Wallhack.
Oh, Logitech. Oh, funny enough, I've got this here as well.
It is fun.
He's just got like boxes on the floor of stuff, like in case like Razor or something coming or
Exactly.
That's another one. Have just products all over your floor, so if anyone comes at any time, you can just go, here you go. Here's that.
I literally, the apparel was down here, and I was like, oh, I might actually wear the hoodie in this video. But then I put the hoodie on, and I was like, I'm so hot because it's so nice.
Yeah.
Back to what I'm saying, my DMs are open. More than happy to work with any of my friends. I'll always answer any questions that you have. Just DM me. Just slide into my DMs. That's all you got to do.
What a guy. What a guy.
And as long as you're not Wardy, I will always reply to you.
Fuck that. Okay, well, we'll give you like 10 minutes. If anyone's got any questions they want to ask Dunk now, just write them in chat and I'll just read through them. Okay, there's one. I'm curious on the viewpoint of creators that basically use the community to do their outreach for them. I know a lot of young gen of streamers encourage their viewers to clip and make clip channels for like fan channels. Sometimes we even do contests for who gets the most views on the contest. They make no risk, just a reward. Before I talk about this, I know Lucas has told me this before. It's something that Arena Breakout Infinite did very well. Is they made a program where I believe it was the top 25 content creators. The most views would then win money. So say it was me and you, Dunk, for example, and we both made ABI content. We then post long form and short form. I think it was both in one. And whoever got the most like views on the videos / impressions would then win a certain amount of money at the end of the month, for example. I think it was a month. But to me, that was a banging idea because it was, you know, the game's getting promotion and then you're getting something out of it by playing the game. Do you know what I mean? If it's something you love doing, like if you love making ABI content, that's just a win-win for you because you get the impressions of, oh, my name's now at the top of this list of, you know, this person got the most impressions for this month. And then you get the money come inside of it. And then you can make the whole thing better. Like what you say about a flywheel, you make it better around, you know, you then get money and then you put it back into the stream and make it into your content more, you know?
Yeah, I like that method. It's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was good.
That's quite good.
It was very good.
To Casey's point, yeah, I mean, it's one of the best things you can do. Your community is like your bloodline, right? They'll do anything for you. Asking them to just clip moments is one of the biggest and best things you can do. I don't know if I ever paid him, but I asked one of my moderators to clip back when I used to stream. And it saves so much time. Unbelievable amounts of time. Because you just get to the end of your stream, you go look at your markers. Do you use markers or do you use Twitch clips, Woody?
I basically set up replay buffer, and then as soon as I think something's good, I press clip, and then it does like the last 10 minutes of it. Because the reason I do that is because Twitch clip resolution is awful. Like when you try and move that back to then in an editing software, it just chalks the hell out of it.
Markers.
Yeah, but
Twitch markers.
Yeah, but me doing that is easy because I just have it running the whole time. Then if I think something's good, I just press
the same button, right?
Yeah, but then it clips the whole thing. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like recording, but you're not actually recording. You're just like, you have it on, and then as soon as you press it, it clips the last minute of what you've done. And then it makes it into a video on your thing, and then all you have to do is edit it.
Oh, are you recording it locally?
Yes.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Replay buffer.
Yeah,
replay buffer.
Okay. I mean, that's cool, yeah. Sweet. That's good.
Yeah, okay,
but
thanks,
if you don't have the capacity, if your PC is not good enough to operate both recording and streaming, using Twitch markers. But you can give that privilege to mods or any community members. But I see so many people now doing clip competitions because the way it works is like you get 100 people to send in 100 clips and you give the winner $1,000, but you've got 100 clips. Like you do, like these are big streamers that are doing it, etc. But they're becoming the biggest and best content farm you can possibly have because at the end of the day, finding your content is the thing that's going to be time consuming. Dropping it into a template, like if you work in Premiere Pro, you can set up a project file which then uses presets you can just drop in your 2 files, drop your presets on, and it makes it vertical, adds your photos, your subtitles, whatever you want, and then you can edit and get it out and done. But yeah, clip farming is like the best thing you could possibly do.
Yep. Okay, we'll do some more questions. What is the best route as a photographer to get in front of the right eyes to get hired for an esports event? From Jack.
I don't ever want to ever promote this, but you got to work for free. Sorry. You got to put the hours in and you got to work for free. You got to message and email every single esports org that's going to a tournament, and you just say that you'll come and shoot for free. And then you have to pay your way and you have to get in front, because at the end of the day, you need work and you need to show people what you can do. You can go out and you can shoot photos of outside. You can go to a football game or whatever, and you can shoot photos, but there is nothing like shooting an esports event, because the lighting is bad. The lighting is horrendous, and a good photographer in esports can easily be exposed versus a bad one. No, the other way around. Bad photographers can easily be exposed at esports events because the lighting is dreadful. You're working with horrible lights, horrible colors, bright lights that will flash up when something big happens, and you just have to account for it. So at the end of the day, like, photography in esports is, you definitely need experience and you definitely need hours, and you're gonna have to work for free. You're gonna have to get yourself out there. If you think about it, like in the entertainment industry, how you used to get into film back in the day, you used to have to go and do the papers. You have to go and deliver in the talent agencies, you used to have to go and, if anyone's watched like Entourage or whatever, you have to just go and work for free, and you have to put the hours in, and you have to show that you can do it. And the only way you can do that is by working for free. So until you then get a couple of events under your belt, then you can start talking about your portfolio and sharing your portfolio, and then start small with your rates, and then as you know your worth, then bump them up.
Yeah, I think that answers it.
Sorry.
I think that answers it. Okay, Wallhack said, I see a lot of creators getting stuck making the same issues. How do you motivate people to try new things or even think outside the box?
Well, that's actually a really challenging question.
That is a good question, I can't lie.
I see a lot of creators getting stuck making the same mistakes. How do you motivate people to try new things or even think outside the box? Wait, do you have ads running right now?
I do, yeah. Just said Prime. You can stop talking for a minute if you want. That's another thing, ads. The reason why people have to run ads like that is because, like, you must know, right? That if you run 3-minute ads, you get rid of pre-rolls. And obviously pre-rolls are like, I mean, I've spoke in like long terms at Tempe about this. Pre-rolls can just be so like bad for like streamers, because it's going back to what you said about doom scrolling. Is the first like 10 like if someone comes into a stream and get instantly ad with a 10-second pre-roll ad, they're more than likely going to click off.
Yeah.
I know everyone hates ads, no one likes ads, right? But smaller streamers especially, what Sembi's saying is that, like, yeah, 3 minutes is a long time, but it then disables it every hour.
That's all right.
Every hour, yeah.
Getting rid of pre-rolls is the best thing you can possibly do.
Yeah. Because it's I've always had mine. Like set to 30 seconds, so everyone would get pre-rolls. And then I only just changed it like a few months ago when I put that tweet out, basically saying like, what was people's thoughts on this? Like, what would you rather watch? Because you can split it in half. I could have done 1.5 minutes every 30 seconds, or I could have done 3 minutes every hour. And I decided to do 3 minutes every hour. And like people say, oh, you know, it's too long. And like, you know, people always say it in streams. It's not just my stream. People are like, oh, you know, that's crazy. Like, how can you run them out of ads? But I think people forget that how little smaller streamers, like, people think that you make loads off ads. You don't. Smaller streamers do not make anything off ads. Like, when I even shared how much I made when I did 30 seconds. I made like $8 in a month, and I streamed 160 hours. 160 hours of 30 seconds of ads, and I got nothing. And it's not like I do it for, like, I don't do it for the ad revenue. I don't care about that. I do it so I can then be pushed out more and like have more eyes on me if I have disabled pre-rolls, for example.
And also Twitch probably favor bumping, putting you in recommended lists or suggested lists when people come up if you're doing what they want you to do with ads. But back in the day, when I was editing, so I edited content for Woodell, and I did it for free. I grew his Instagram to 100,000 followers and his TikTok to 200,000 followers, and I got paid nothing. Anyway,
Damn.
he would raid me on Twitch, and what I would do, he would throw me like 4,000 to 5,000 viewers, and I would hit ads instantly. As soon as I got raided, I would just ad hit them.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. I wasn't streaming to like become a full-time content creator. I was just streaming to like talk to TSM fans, and I would just like 10-minute ad break, bam, hit them with it. I don't care how many of you are gonna stay here, and mate, I'd make so much money from that. Like ad breaks from big viewership, like that's
crazy. You know the most you know. Do you know what the most you can run in an hour is?
No, I don't know. Not a clue.
Do you have a guess? Because I looked at it the other day. How much do you think you can run? How many ads in an hour you think you can run?
10 minutes.
22 minutes. 22 minutes in an hour you can run.
That is insane.
That's the absolute max you can run. 22 minutes of ads in an hour. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. But yeah, I think the ad is done now anyway. We'll go back to the wall hack question.
Yeah. So my question is, how do we motivate people to make change? You just show them case studies that work. If someone's like stuck in their way and they're like keep doing the same thing over and over, then you just show them a piece of content that works or a method that works that they can then replicate. It's very hard to motivate someone to change unless they want to change, obviously. But my biggest piece of advice is you just have to go with some form of numbers, some form of data, some form of here's a reason why you should be doing this instead of what you're currently doing. And it's what we have to do too. Like there are some creators that we work with that are stuck in their ways, and we've had to educate them and just be like, hey, look, here's why you should be doing this instead. Here's 10 other examples of why what we're saying you should be doing is right. But it's also, it is just up to the person if they want to change, if they want to like think outside of the box. And in terms of thinking outside of the box, I mean, that's just comes down to pure creativity and how much content you consume yourself. I get so many of my ideas and so many of my content inspirations from TikTok because I believe that so much inspiration is coming from TikTok. So yeah, in terms of like, I don't know if I answered that question very well. It's a very hard question to answer. But if it's someone within your team, if it's someone in your social media team, then you just need to go to them with examples of what's working elsewhere and politely saying, hey, look, here's why it's working elsewhere. Maybe we should implement this. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I think we just have like maybe one left if I'm Ricky. On the topic of working for free, personally, I don't agree with it. Once you work for free, you devalue yourself, and it's much harder to up your rates that way. So what would you say about that?
Yeah, and I fully agree with you, but then you just don't work with the people that you've worked with for free. And you go to a new client that has no idea that you worked for free before, so they have no idea of your value. But it's just the unfortunate way of the world with HR and hiring is that like me and Lucas implemented a couple of things instantly straight on that we hated at other places that we'd worked or been involved with. And one of them was the hiring process is that we will never, unless we're hiring for like a C-suite level job where there's like a creative director or like a CEO or CMO, whatever, we will never require you to have a certain amount of experience. It will always be it's nice to have if you have some job experience, but if you've just been working for free by yourself on the side for 2 years and you want to make your break into this industry, we'll always give you a shot. Like if you can show us what you do, we'll always give you a shot. And unfortunately, that's just the hiring process. You always need experience. To get experience, you need the opportunities. And unfortunately, opportunities aren't there unless you make them for yourself. So go work for free.
Yeah.
It's toxic. It's absolutely toxic. It's the only, I hate saying it too. But it's how I got to where I am today is because I went and worked for free. I got off my own back. So yeah, it's just the way it is.
Okay.
But also esports is in such a horrible position that people will bite your hand off to work for free.
Yeah, they will.
Sorry.
I agree.
My brother, I do have the cable in Lucas, it's not charging. My brother is now a camera up, and he's working on House of Dragons Season 3 right now. So he is a big dog. He had to work for 2 years unpaid in London to get his job. My parents had to fund him to pay for rent in London so he could get to where he is today. Some industries, working for free, it's just the norm. It's just what you got to do. Other industries, like finance, probably not. Don't think that works. But yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah, any last questions? It just at me in chat as well if you want to do it, or at Dunk so we can, like, it comes up more. I don't know if I've missed anyone. I don't want to miss any questions because I feel like this has been good.
If you could marry any legend from Apex, who would it be and why is it Horizon? It is Horizon.
Dear, oh dear.
It is Horizon, though, no?
What? That you'd marry?
Yeah.
No, Loba. Gyat!
Ooh,
Gyat!
true.
Sorry. No.
Or Man Baggy if she spits on me. GP merch.
Okay, this has just gone out the window. This has just gone so far left. Okay.
I was going to send my mum this podcast, but I probably won't now.
Yeah, I'll cut that bit out if you want. Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on this
podcast.
podcast.
No worries. Thank you to Dunk for coming on as well. Obviously, like, all of these socials are there. Yeah, we did a lot of yapping, I'm not going to lie. That was a good one, though.
That's good.
Hopefully people will learn a bit from that, from your yapping. Thanks for taking your time out to speak to me anyway, mate. I know this wasn't, you know.